And good morning to you. Welcome to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Ready to go on this. There you go. Thank you. On this Monday, October the 5th, 2015. And we appreciate you being with us here and ready to go as we have our proudly wearing our Wells Fargo Center Street Wealth Management Group Wells Fargo ball cap on. There you go. One of our proud sponsors. Whoo, we got a lot to talk about today. We have got all kinds of goodies, and we're excited about being here. Thank you again. This is day number 152 of our Fun and Frolic. And, again, we thank you for being with us, and we appreciate so very much the opportunity to come in here and do this every single week. And trying to find, there it is right there. Bring it back up right there, and we'll tell you that our verse of the day, the man who hung on the cross, Proverbs 16:3, or as the little one told me yesterday, it's Problems 16:3. Be Proverbs 16:3. Commit your works to me, and your thoughts will be established. Commit your works to me, and your thoughts will be established. That is our verse of the day. Again, on this Monday, October the 5th, 2015. We say good morning to you again. Thanks for being with us. And as we said, lots to talk about. We're going to jump in here in just a few minutes and get going with where do you start? Tennessee football meltdown. Big time. Whoo, me oh my. Young football team. Give them a chance, Tom. No, okay. We're going to talk to some folks about that very topic throughout the show today. Also got the quiz show with the Gator Man. Also, a little bit later on, we'll be joined by our buddy Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park. Also, we've got Don Shepard's going to weigh in and talk to us a little bit later on this morning or this afternoon to give his assessment. He's a huge Tennessee fan. He's our color man on Science Hill football. Again, Hilltoppers get a big win on the road, of course, Friday night, defeating a very good football team, quite frankly. They're not bad. They, referencing, of course, would be the Hawks from Hardin Valley. Science Hill wins it, scoring 20 unanswered, beating him 20-7. Coming up this week, back home for the next two. William Blount, the Governors, come to town. They're in the bottom of the Big East Conference, so on paper, but you don't play them on paper. But on paper, you would think Science Hill, big favorite in this game on Friday night. Again, it'll be a 7 o'clock airtime and a kickoff at 7:30. And we're very excited about bringing it to you again this Friday night. Don Shepard, yours truly, along with Kevin Harmon, going to be there, the best in the biz, back with us after a two-man crew took us to Hardin Valley, Don and I, and had a big time. And he's a fun guy to work with, and he's a pro. And he's only in, his sixth game? Yeah, right, seventh game, I guess. Be seventh game. And missed a game. That's right, be his sixth games. This guy's a pro. We're looking forward to being with him again on Friday night. 7 o'clock airtime, 7:30. We'll kick it off again at Kermit-Tipton Stadium. JV's have a big game tonight. They'll take on Tennessee High. We'll be there to check that out. We'll be later on tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to being up there in and around the folks at Kermit-Tipton Stadium and Steve Spurrier Field for the ball game tonight betwixt the JVs of Science Hill, which pretty good football team. Ben Wooten and Jalen Adams and, let's see, who are some of the other guys? Duncan, Caleb Duncan. They got some guys who can play. And anyway, we'll be there tonight with that 6 o'clock kickoff with the JV game, Science Hill and Tennessee High. We say good morning to you. Thanks for being with us again. Here's the quote of the day from Butch Jones. At the end of the day, this is his quote after the Arkansas loss. You probably know and heard of it now, but wow. This is his coach. This is the coach of the football team making these assessments, which I find very, very interesting. At the end of the day, says UT coach Butch Jones, quote, what it takes to play winning football, we were not able to make big plays at critical points in the game. Said going into the game, was it then or was it Saturday after the game, we have a zero margin of error to win football games. Now, I guess he's being brutally honest, but he's also, I don't know. I would have come up with something different. We talked about being a red zone game where you had to score touchdowns. We had many opportunities to make plays and couldn't do it. That's on him. That's on him and the coaching staff. And you're going to say, no, they don't have the talent. They're in a rebuilding mode. For him to say, we had many opportunities to make plays and couldn't do it, that would be, and I guess somebody would say, no, that's back on the players. There's not enough talent in the field to get it done. Okay. I don't totally buy that. I'll give it a little bit of credit to that, a little bit of credence, but not much. Now, Either you can do it or you can't do it. And, this is his third season. Now, am I on the Butch Jones get rid of bandwagon or to keep Butch Jones? Don't care either way, really. I'm a Marshall man. And I'm a Georgia man, even though they got spanked pretty good by the Alabama Crimson Tide, to say the least. So, but we talked about being a red zone game where you had to score touchdowns. Well, we had many opportunities to make plays and couldn't do it. Now, is that a bad thing for coach to say? If I'm playing, I don't want my coach saying that. I'm not sure what I'd want him to say, but I'm not sure I wouldn't want him to come out and say we had many opportunities to make plays and couldn't do it. But on the other side, he's being brutally honest. What it takes to play winning football, we weren't able to make big plays at critical points in the game. Now, that is, to me, a ringing endorsement or lack thereof of my football team. He may be that may be a concession statement for Butch Jones. But anyway, at the end of the day, they blew yet another lead and got outscored, 24-6 after leading 14-0 and lose again. Now, folks are telling me now that, well, this week, so we're on to the new week. This week, we'll beat old Georgia. They got whipped pretty good by Alabama. Well, that's the last thing I'd want. You take a stick and beat a dog and, back him up in the corner, and pretty soon he's going to come back out at you. He's going to be meaner than ever, right? Well, the Bulldogs got beat with a big old Crimson Tide stick, big time, 38-10. They got to hand it to them on their home field in front of the home folks, obviously. So Alabama gets a big W. Georgia coming to Knoxville on Saturday, I would think would be a wounded football team and a mad football team because they have to. I think that's a proving game now for Mark Richt and the Georgia Bulldogs. Big ball game, I think, for a lot of reasons. Georgia now 2-1. Kentucky stays 2-1. Florida, how about them, jumping 11 notches, and the polls will go over that in a minute. Florida 3-0. Tennessee now 0-2 in the conference. South Carolina 0-3. They got problems in Columbia. And by the way, while I'm thinking of Columbia, here we said in East Tennessee we had some rain and we've had some swollen streams, but man, you look at what's going on down there. I've been there, but not to that extent. But I was there when Hugo hit a 90, and we had a lot of flooding, but nothing like this. And the devastation is very, very sad. People's homes. You see up to the first floor apartment buildings underwater. All those sheetrock's going to be ripped out, and carpeting and appliances, and hope they got homeowners insurance or renters insurance. It is a mess, and there's still rain in the forecast down in South Carolina, in particular in Columbia, where South Carolina is, of course. So my hat goes off. My thoughts and prayers certainly go off to those folks down there. And my hat goes off to the governor, who's got to try and pull this together, and sounds like she will. She's a leader. So anyway, Columbia, as far as a football team, which was probably the furthest thing from folks' minds right now, they are 0-3. Georgia 2-1. As we said, Florida 3-0. Kentucky 2-1. Missouri 1-1. Tennessee 0-2. South Carolina 0-3. And so Georgia, it's a chance to, they're still in the hunt. They lose this one, they're probably out as far as they're still in the hunt. They still got to play Florida and Jacksonville later in the season, so they got a chance. But Georgia's got to win this game. And I think for folks to say, well, they're coming to town and they're going to be down because they got whipped, and they may be down. They got whipped. I don't think they're going to be down. I think you're going to see a much-inspired Georgia football team is going to take it to Tennessee in a proving game. And so the Big Orange, if they come in with that assumption that they're going to whip them all over the field because they got beat by Alabama, they're in for I would think, a rude awakening. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us again on this Monday. We thank you for being with us. One of our great sponsors. Want to say thanks and hello to the folks from Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance at 323-8726. Got one text from Wyman over the weekend. Da Bears. Enough said, I believe is what he said. Da Bears. So, of course, the Raiders gagged. They had them 2-minute warning. They were up, a couple of points, if I'm not mistaken. And they go down the field to the Bears and put themselves in position to kick a field goal and win the game. And so the Raiders gagged it again, back to the same old, same old. We'll talk more about that later on the show. Kevin Harvick does what he needed to do. He got him a W. He is in the chase for the next round. Some of the folks got knocked out, including one of the all-time greats, Jimmy Johnson, loses his chance to qualify for his another championship of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. My man Kyle Busch stays in. That's good. So, anyway, that's what's going on in NASCAR. They're moving on now to Charlotte this weekend for the next round. So 4 have been eliminated. We'll talk about that. College football polls are out. We'll talk about that. Also, we have baseball getting into the good time now. The postseason has begun as far as pairings and who's going to play where. We'll tell you all about that. Daniel Norris had a great outing. Norris had a heck of an outing, as a matter of fact, to wrap up the season. Final pitcher on the mound for the Tigers in 2015. And a great springboard for Daniel Norris for 2016. So he had a great outing. We'll talk more about that. And also the Major League start, the wild card game tomorrow night. Pittsburgh and the Cubbies. So lots and lots and lots to talk about. We're glad you're with us here again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And so, yeah, Kevin Harvick does his thing. And college football, the polls are out again. And baseball, let's see, got a couple of managerial changes. By the way, Brian Price, now you tell me why in the world they'd leave this guy in there, but he is coming back. Reds have said, we're not going to get rid of this guy. Well, I still even had Revs up here. If I do, I'm taking it down. Nope, I don't. So I'm out. I'm over it. Redlegs finished 64-98. What is that? 34 games under 500, 36 games out. A team that's supposed to contend for the Central Division title this year. It's supposed to be right in the middle of Pittsburgh, Chicago, and St. Louis. Instead, they end up in the cellar, even below the lowly Brewers. In fact, looking up and down through here, only one other team in Major League Baseball was worse than the Cincinnati Reds, and that was the Philadelphia Phillies. They've already made their change. Ryan Sandberg, he's gone. San Diego finished 74-88. They're letting their manager go. Pat Murphy's out. They're looking for a new manager in San Diego. Cincinnati goes 64-98. 64-98. 36 games out of first place. And they're going to keep him. 36 games out. They finished 64-98, the second worst team in Major League Baseball, and they're keeping this guy. Good grief. So, as I said at church yesterday, we got into this discussion, and the pastor's he's going to call me later on this week and talk about it. He was stewing. Here's what I'm going to say. Brian Price has got something on somebody. To be 32 games out for the second consecutive year, they've woefully underachieved in Cincinnati. Now, I don't know if they're a World Series contender, but they're better than what this shows. And these guys bringing back the same manager, you'll get the same. I mean, what's going to be different? Nothing. They may get Devin Mesoraco back. Okay. But they continue to make moves in all season. They unloaded Cueto in the middle of the season. Royals going to move into the playoffs, of course, starting later this week with Cueto, one of the big guns for Kansas City, having come over from Cincinnati. So defies logic, but I told him yesterday at church, I said, I promise you, he's got something on somebody. Why else would they keep this guy in there? They're not getting better. They're going backwards. 32 games out, and they're going to leave the guy in as manager for next year. Be interesting to see how the fan base for the tickets for 2016 will go. I can tell you where my money would go. It would not go to Cincinnati if I was there looking for season tickets. I wouldn't buy the first one, but that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but don't think so. I'm entitled to my opinion, as you are as well, and I would not give the first penny, shilling, nickel, peso, whatever, to go see a Reds game. And as I said, outside of the Big Red Machine, I'll leave them up because they did something. Tony Perez, my all-time favorite player, autograph picture, I'll leave the Big Red Machine up. But anything about 2015 or going forward, not a chance. Not this Cowboy anyway. And there again, I have my rights, and that's what I'm going to do. Tom Taylor Sports Show, quick break. I'll be right back. Got more to talk about here on this Monday on October the 5th, show number 151, and the countdown to Christmas. Do I have that one? The countdown to Christmas? No, but I'm going to get that for you. Countdown to Christmas. Let's see. Let's run through here real quick. 83, 82, 80 days. 80 days till Christmas. Wow. Is that right? It was 84 on Thursday. Friday's 83. Saturday's 82. Yep, 80 days till Christmas. Wow. Quick break. We'll be right back. You're with us on a Monday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
And welcome back to the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Monday, October the 5th. Again, 152nd day, 80 days till Christmas. And let's talk for just a second about Daniel Norris. I want to definitely brag on this young man. Gave up one hit in 5 scoreless innings in the Tigers' 6-0 win over the Chicago White Sox, finishing up the season at 3-2. He had a dismal performance last time out. And yesterday he really came on strong. And I was going to try and get the box to find out, make sure compliments of the – well, let's see. Would they have it? No. They don't have the box in there. Okay. We'll move on to this one. Let's see. Maybe this one will have the box. See what Norris did on his final pitching performance of the year. And let's see. Would they have those in there? And son of a gun, they do not. So how about that? We don't have a box scores in there for the games. But anyway, Daniel Norris, we'll try and check it out here in just a second. Go into the Tigers website. Gave up one hit, 5 scoreless innings, Tigers 6-0 win, and he gets the W, finishes 3-2 for the season. So good job for Daniel Norris, the lefty out of Johnson City. So we hope that he can continue to do some very, very good things next year in 2016. His manager is back. Brad Osmus is back. And so that's a good thing. He's orchestrated Norris to get to Detroit through that David Price trade. So he'll be back next year. We hope that big things are in the offing for Daniel Norris, who I guess will be coming back this way for the off season. We'll get a chance to get him on the show. We've got some contacts to do that and talk to him, and that'll be pretty cool to get him on in the not-too-distant future. Let him talk about 2015 and Daniel Norris and his season and going forward, what's it going to be like for him in the off season, what to do for his routine and those type of things. So we'll do that. Let's get my man on here and talk a little Tennessee football. He's wanting to talk, and so we can do that as soon as we hit the magic numbers here. All right.
Hello.
There he is, my man, Cody Helton. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing just fine. How are you?
I'm just fat and sassy. Just excited to be here today. And All right, let's jump in here and talk. I want to talk a little Tennessee football. You're one of the biggest Tennessee football fans I know of, and you win gracefully and you lose gracefully. But, all right, fire away. What's wrong with this football team? You watched the game Saturday. What went wrong? Why did they have a 14-0 lead and then get outscored 24-6 and lose again?
Well, it's rough because you got our defensive coordinator. I think he's playing a little too soft on the receivers, and he's got a linebacker switching in and out. He's got Darren Kirkland Jr. switching out with a guy named Jumper, and I don't think Jumper should be in there. But when he puts Jumper in there, Jumper usually gets pounced on, gets pancaked, or gets ran right past, and Kirkland's in there making plays, and I don't know why they keep – I mean, I know he gets tired, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
All right, so, you know, they're a bigger football team, offensive line, one of the biggest college football lines in the country anywhere. And I didn't watch the game at all. Did Tennessee get manhandled up on the front offensive line by Arkansas's big hogs?
You know, believe it or not, like you said, they're being a big offensive line. They pulled up a thing. Arkansas's offensive line is bigger than the San Diego Chargers' offensive line. So that should tell you, that should give you some size. A college football team bigger than an NFL team. But I mean, believe it or not, though, with Tennessee playing two true freshmen, and two sophomores, you know, they held their own pretty good. Khalil McKenzie had 4 tackles, I think. Shy Tuttle had 5 tackles. So I mean, they held their own, but I mean, they had those certain plays where Arkansas's offensive line opened up the holes, and they gutted us for a couple of big ones.
So offensive line's not the problem, or the domination. Yeah, the domination of the offensive line by Arkansas, that's not the problem. So mark that one off. Okay, that's not the excuse. All right. Special teams missed some field goals again. Is that a problem? Is that the reason we got beat?
No, because if Aaron Medley would have made one field goal, that still would have put us losing by. Because he went 1 for 1 on the night. So if he would have made that one field goal, then that still would have put us at 23-24, and we still would have lost the ball game. But no, Aaron Medley's a great kicker. He hits them before the game. They'll have him practice them from 40, 50, 60 yards, and he's nailing them. I just think it's more of a mental thing he has to get past right now. So special teams was good because when we first play of the game, Arkansas kicked it to us, and we took it 95 yards for a touchdown.
Talking a big Tennessee fan, Cody Helton again here on this Monday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're glad to have you with us. The missed opportunities, here we go. 71-yard Alvin Kamara punt return, wiped out by an illegal block penalty. Medley missing a 28-yard field goal try that bounced off the upright of the first period. Game's only turnover, a fumble by Preston Williams of the Arkansas 9, stopping the drive in the second period. So it continues to be problematic for this Tennessee football team week in and week out. Has it become a mental thing, Cody? Or I mean, here's 3 examples right there: an illegal block penalty, missed field goal, and a fumble. There's 3 drive killers and momentum killers. So as it's set in now, are these guys now hit the point where they're believing they can't win?
I don't think so, because I mean, it is rough on them. You know, they're young players, so they're still having to learn how to win. Which, as of right now, it's not really working out for them. But you know, they've got to learn how to win eventually. And these next 2 games are going to be the hardest games we have to play for the rest of the season between Georgia and Alabama. So I think if we can get past them and I don't know, maybe come out 1-1. I'd hate to be 0-2 in these next 2 games, but you know, that's college football, so anything can happen. But if we can go 1-1 in these next 2 games, that might give us some momentum going into the rest of the season. So I think the coaches got to stay positive. If the coaches aren't positive, the players aren't going to be positive.
He's an internal optimist, which I appreciate very, very much. However, other Tennessee fans are down on this football team. They're down on Butch Jones. They're down on Mike DeBoer. Say he's too conservative. I know some Michigan fans. That's why we got rid of him in Michigan because he was too conservative. So, but I've already heard the fans say this week, well, this week we're going to get him. And I'm thinking, well, that's great. That's the right attitude to have. But you've had a chance to get him with Oklahoma and with certainly with the game Saturday with UCLA with Arkansas. Then what was that? Who's that one blew the lead on? Florida. Thank you, the Gators. So I don't know.
Plenty of opportunities.
Yep, plenty of opportunities. What's your take on Joshua Dobbs?
Joshua Dobbs, I think he's a great quarterback. They're not letting him run as much as they usually do, which I'm really confused on because he had multiple down the field runs he could have had Saturday to set up some first downs or some extra field goals or stuff, and he didn't do it. So they're trying to be very cautious of letting Dobbs run this year because they don't want to get him hurt. But it also didn't help that his three main receivers were out. You had Marquez North out, Tig Howard out, and Jason Kroom out. So that's three big targets right there that he loves to throw to that were out. So, if you look at the stats, Tennessee had 232 passing yards, which most of those were to the running backs. But, when you got to be cautious about throwing it to your receivers now because Preston Williams was a five-star wide receiver coming out of high school and catches the ball and takes two steps and barely gets hit and fumbles it. So, I think Dobbs is just I think he's got to get some confidence back. Hopefully when he gets his receivers in there, they'll be able to throw it with him a little bit. But, the world's seen that Josh Dobbs can run. The kid can run miles and not get touched. But his passing's a little scary right now. So hopefully we'll get some receivers back, and then he'll prove that he should be the starting quarterback.
We're talking to Cody Helton, our buddy. Cody, a big UT fan, and we're finding out through his eyes why this football team's not doing better than they're doing, whether it's Jones or Dobbs or whomever. They have surrendered leads of 17 points to Oklahoma, 13 points to Florida, now 2 touchdowns, 14 points to the Razorbacks on Saturday. Georgia comes to town Saturday. They got hammered by Alabama, got embarrassed on national television on their home field. So, I'm hearing yesterday some folks and even some today going, well, we're going to get this team. They're down, they're hurting, and they got embarrassed. I'm thinking, if I'm on that football team, I'm going to come out here Saturday and I'm going to put a butt whooping on Tennessee and show you that I'm for real and that was a fluke. And I don't think you're going to see a Georgia team coming up here laying down and being sissies or whatever because they got beat by Alabama. I think it'll be quite the opposite. I think this is a show me, prove me game for Mark Richt and the fan base of Georgia. What do you think?
Man, this is going to be a scary game because Arkansas had a true freshman. He ran the ball on us pretty well, if I must say. Arkansas finished the night with 275 rushing yards, and I would say half of those, or over half of those, was with a true freshman. And then you've got Nick Chubb from Georgia coming in here, probably I'd say the second best running back in the nation right now. And we've got Georgia's offensive line is not as big as Hogs as Arkansas is, so hopefully we can hold her on a little bit. But Nick Chubb coming in, he don't care to lower his head and give you the boom. So hopefully we can figure out how to shut down that running game. And then if we shut down the running game, then you've got that new transfer from Virginia playing for Georgia right now, still trying to figure out the system. So hopefully we can make him pass and just make something happen.
Alex Collins, 27 carries, 154 yards by the Arkansas running back. 27 carries, 154 yards for Collins, Alex Collins. Did he score? Yeah, he got a 1-yard run. 2 touchdowns. Again, I didn't watch the game. 27 carries, 154 yards. Rushing the football, Arkansas 275, Tennessee 133. And you got Chubb and the boys coming to town. And see, against Alabama, Georgia rushed for 193 yards. Chubb, let's see what he do. Chubb went 20 carries, 146 yards, as I said. So if Collins can get you 154 against Tennessee, Chubb, and of course, I also say this, there's been times Georgia's brought great running backs to Knoxville before, and they've laid an egg, not had a real good game. So, but Chubb, again, tying that record and with Herschel Walker. So if they can't find a way to stop Chubb and Grayson Lambert on those little quick sprint out passes, they're in trouble. So can Tennessee beat this football team, Cody?
I think they can because, you go to past games, when Georgia comes to Knoxville, we play Georgia very, very close. I think, you look at the past 3 years, it's come down to Tennessee actually driving down the field to win it and just not being able to capitalize when it came down to it. Last year we had that devastating fumble on the goal line that cost us, and the year before that, that's when Tig Howard dove for the goal line to win the game in overtime and ended up fumbling it. and they got the ball back. So, I mean, we've been playing them really close, and, this year could be the year.
Pig Howard, let's see what he did on Saturday. Pig Howard.
Ankle injury out.
Yep, not even a catch. Not one catch. So he didn't even play, did he? No, he didn't play.
That's what I was saying with Dobbs. He's got 3 of his main receivers out. So that's why the passing game's struggling right now.
Hurd had 19 carries, 90 yards again. So Tennessee against walloped again. I say walloped, but again the way they lose, they got walloped. As far as I'm concerned, time of possession, Arkansas had the football 11 more minutes than Tennessee. But going into the game, even I said it last week, and I'm not even in Knoxville. I said, you got to make your possessions count because Arkansas is a ball control, clock dominating football team. So when you get your chances, you got to perform. And Butch Jones says they didn't. And we'll read this quote to you again. Butch Jones says, quote, where is it here? Well, at the end of the day, what it takes to play winning football, we're not able to make big plays or critical points in the game. Cody, you played football. I was around it. I didn't play, but I don't want to hear my coach say that in the papers. I don't want to pick it up and say, what it takes to play winning football, we're not able to make big plays or critical points in the game. I don't want my coach telling me that. That, to me, is an endorsement that he doesn't believe in the product. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that can not only can that kill the team's momentum, but that's just going to make the players just feel a little bit down about themselves. And you definitely don't want to go into a big game like this weekend coming up. You definitely don't want to go to a game like that down on yourself, because if you do that, then you're not going to want to play to win. You're just going to want to play to get out there.
So that's my question. I've been around sports a long time, so if I could watch them, and I didn't, I'm not interested in watching them, but if I could watch them, I could see their body language, and I could tell if they're a whip football team. What it takes to play winning football, we were not able to make big plays or critical points in the game. Well, that's what sports is all about, making critical, whatever game you're in, making big plays or critical points in the game, whether it's a key hit in baseball or a big basket in basketball or a big goal in soccer, and so in this case in football. But all right, so you're a big Tennessee fan. Here we go. You've got 2 wins on your belt. You're 2-3. You got to be 6 to be bowl eligible. Let's see if we can find 6 here or find 4 more wins. Georgia, do you beat Georgia Saturday?
Toss up.
Nah. Alabama on the 24th. No. Let me go ahead and tell you that one. No. At Kentucky on Halloween, what do you think?
Yes.
No. They're not going to beat Kentucky in Kentucky. South Carolina, Knoxville, they'll beat them.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm asking you, and I'm answering the questions. North Texas, you think they'll beat North Texas?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So there's 4. You got to have 2 more. You go to Missouri on the 21st of November. What do you think there?
Yeah, it should be Missouri.
All right. There's 5, and you come back and beat Vanderbilt.
Easily.
All right. So you got 6. You go to the bowl. So I don't know which one you'll go to, but you got a bowl based on that. So Georgia's a toss-up. All right. I'm going to go. So let me go back down here with you. Georgia, you say toss-up. I say loss. Alabama, loss. You say they'll win in Kentucky. I say they'll lose. What'd you say about South Carolina? Win in Knoxville. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Win in Knoxville.
All right. They'll beat South Carolina. They're hurting. North Texas at Knoxville.
Win.
All right. I'll go along with that one. At Missouri?
Missouri's like that Florida game, man. We struggle when we play Missouri, so it's a toss-up, honestly.
Yeah. I say loss. I'm not going to give them – because here's what's going to happen. At some point, and I don't know what – again, if I could watch them and I can read their body language, I could tell you where they are as a football team, but just turn off the sound and watch how they walk and how they carry themselves. It tells you a lot about a person, their body language. So if they get hammered by Georgia and they get slapped back down by Alabama, which is a very distinct possibility, by the time they get to Kentucky, some of these guys may check out. Their mental toughness may be gone. So I don't know by the time you get to Missouri, can you beat that team or not? Because it depends on where you are and if you've had any success between now and then. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. And, here's the question about Butch Jones. This is my question. All right, let's say they can him today. Let's say Dave Hart goes in today and say, Butch, you're gone. Boom, you're out of there. Who in the world is going to come in the middle of the season of a 2-3 season in Knoxville where there is no patience, obviously? We went through Dooley and Kiffin, and the first time things don't go right, everybody's ready to get rid of the next guy. Now they're all off on Butch Jones. Whether it's justified or not, again, my question is, who's going to walk in the middle of this season and take over this team, or who's on the coaching staff that could elevate? I mean, what are you going to do and there's no talk about him being canned by the administration. But the buyout contract, too, you got to remember that. This guy's going to make a ton of money when he walks away, if he walks away under those conditions. So if you're a Tennessee fan and you want to get rid of him, it sounds good. It's easy. Let's just fire him. Okay. Well, who are you going to put in there? Who would want to come into this place? I mean, you got Kiffin, you got Dooley, and now you got Butch Jones, and all three have underperformed in the eyes of the Tennessee fans, which may be justified, which may be right. But would you come in there? I mean, obviously there's a mess down there. It's still not cleaned up. It's getting better after Dooley, but he didn't have it totally cleaned up. You wouldn't be losing these games. So would you come in behind Butch Jones? And, well, let me just ask you, if you're the athletic director, what would you do right now?
I think you got to give Butch 4 years because, I mean, when he first came in, he's still cleaning up Derek Dooley's mess, and he's still got some of Derek Dooley's mess there. And, I mean, I understand that he's good at recruiting and he's got the talent in there, but people's also got to understand that that's still freshmen and sophomores playing against juniors and seniors in probably the strongest conference in the country. And, you know, I think if you're Dave Hart, I don't think it's a Butch Jones problem. I think Butch has made some dumb calls, like last week against Florida, not going for the 2-point conversion and kicking the field goal. You know, he had the small problems, but I think it's the offensive play calling. I think you just got to take that to DeBoer because, I think if you get rid of DeBoer and get someone who's in there who's got the type of offense to run with the type of talent Butch has, then I think you can see something new happening.
So you lay the blame on the shoulders of Mike DeBoer?
I do.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't think I disagree with that. It's pretty vanilla offense. Again, all I see is the highlights and what I hear from folks. I don't sit down and watch the game, not going to, but I don't watch any college. But at the end of the week, I should want to, but I don't. I don't watch too much sports. But I'll take that back. I do watch sports. I just don't want to watch. I'm just not wanting to watch Tennessee. Maybe I should and watch some more of it. But so at the end of the week, I hear Mike DeBoer's very vanilla in his play calling, and, you know, special teams have been a nightmare, and we don't have a really good quarterback. So, you know, the kid that transferred that was all world out of North Carolina, Riley Ferguson, I don't know where he ended up going, but he left because he got enough playing time. So, you know, if Dobbs goes down, who's your quarterback? Who's going to go in and take his spot if he gets his bell rung?
Quentin Dormady.
Okay. What?
Yeah, he do what? Go ahead.
Is he good? I mean, what's the numbers on this guy? Does he come with good credentials?
Well, he came in on that Western Carolina game, and, I mean, he threw the ball phenomenal, broke a couple of tackles and threw one downfield to Preston Williams for a touchdown. So the kid can throw the ball. He's got the arm that Dobbs needs, but he doesn't got the legs that Dobbs has.
What I've seen of Josh Dobbs, we're talking to Cody Helton, talking Tennessee football, trying to analyze what has gone wrong with this football program. I mean, the wheels have somewhat fallen off, obviously. Not all the way off, but there's 2 or 3 lug nuts missing. It's a wobbling going down the road, let's put it this way. What I've seen Dobbs in the highlights, the guy can run like a deer. I would, you know, maybe he's not the guy. Maybe he's a flanker. Maybe he's one of those jet sweep guys. Put him in there as a flanker and run a jet sweep like Science Hill does. Turn him loose like they do Elijah Mathis. Put Dormady in there. Is he more of a throwing quarterback than Dobbs?
Oh, yeah, easily. He's more of a pocket. He's a pocket quarterback.
Well, you got all these guys out there can catch a football that's not getting the ball, not getting. We had a stat last week about how poorly. I think it was like the ball, the most catches so far this season has been 9. So I think that was Pearson or maybe Williams, one of the two. So if this guy can throw it and you got the horses out there to catch and run with it, then logically thinking and speaking, if I'm Butch Jones and it ain't working what we're doing, put Dobbs out there and put Dormady out there and put Dobbs, leave him on the field as a flanker, give him more speed and get him the football. Because obviously, which game was it? He had a big running game. Was that the Florida game? Yeah, Florida game had a great running game. And, yeah, so if he's an athlete and he can run like a deer, then put him out there where a deer runs and put Dormady back there, your drop-back quarterback, and get the ball to some of these receivers. I may have oversimplified everything, but that's what I would do. So, all right. So, anyway, Georgia is a toss-up in your mind, and Alabama's going to be a butt-whooping, which I think they found their quarterback Saturday. Here's my other question. I'll let you go. You take Florida, Muschamp leaves, places in dire straits. We talked about this yesterday. Muschamp's gone, and so in 5 games, Michael Wayne comes in with not a lot of typical Florida talent. Guy's 5-0, 11th in the country. He's got 2 big quality wins against his big rival Tennessee and a huge one over Ole Miss, dropped him way down in the polls. So my question is, how does Florida be in the same boat that Tennessee was in 2 years ago? We're into the 3rd year in Tennessee. We're not making any progress. He still has the same wins as Derek Dooley. Michael Wayne comes in and behind Muschamp with a cupboard that's pretty bare, quite frankly, as far as Florida talent typically goes. And the guy's 5-0, and he's, beat, again, a very good Ole Miss team that at that point was 3rd in the country, maybe a little overrated, but still good. So, again, how does Tennessee stay on the same level, in some cases going backwards? Michael Wayne in 5 games with not much talent's 5-0. So how do you assess that?
I mean, that's a shock to me as it is everyone else, because not only is Florida 5-0, but they're 5-0 with a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So they've come in with something to prove. People saying, "Hey, it's a Florida team," coming in with a new coach. They lost all their starters and all this other stuff, and they came in with something to prove, and I think that's what helped them compared to Tennessee. Tennessee came in the spotlight, and they're not living up to it, and now it's just making everyone irate compared to Florida, who wasn't even in the top 25. No one was really talking about, and they came in, proved everyone wrong, and now they're getting the job done.
There you go. Comes back to coaching as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Michael Wayne, I didn't know who the guy was, but I thought, who's this hire? But, he's looking good right now with a bunch of ragtags. Again, the cupboard is bare in a typical Florida team. The talent's not been there. Muschamp didn't have much working with last year. And so this guy comes in, takes over with Muschamp's talent for all intents and purposes, and he's 5-0. So if he can do it with another man's talent, think what he can do when he gets his own in there in the next couple of years. So, again, comparing the 2 programs, Florida's on the rise, and I think, you tell me, is Tennessee kind of plateaued, or are they going backwards?
No, they're kind of in their medium right now. Like I said, you got to give Butch 4 years, because you still got your really young guys playing in there right now, still trying to get stronger, more experience. So I think after they get more experience next year, we should see the improvement next year.
Be interesting to see the fan base lets him go. See, 4 more years, that would put you at 2019. Is that right? Yeah.
Oh no! You have to give him 4 years. This like next year should be next year's his 4th year. So I think if he doesn't get it done next year, then unfortunately it's not going to look good.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I'm not convinced he won't make it through, that he won't get let go this year if he doesn't do any better. I mean, at 2-3 and giving 3 games away, you should have won 2 at your place. And, good grief, yeah. I mean, you just think about that. You've lost 3 games by a total of 30. You've given up leads 30. You've had a 44-point lead over these other teams, 17 to Oklahoma, 13 to Florida, 14 to to Arkansas, 2 at your place. And you can't get it done in 2 of those games against your conference opponents, but you got to win, obviously. So you've done this against 3 teams, a total of 44 points. You've had that kind of a lead and lost. Nah. I'll be interested. I mean, if he doesn't get any better, I'll be very shocked to see if they don't do something at the end of the season. But there's a lot of football left. Was it 2, 4, 6, 7 more games left on the schedule, so he can get this thing turned around. But it's got to start Saturday, and I don't see it happening. But anyway, Cody's my man. If he can't do it, nobody can. I appreciate you very much, and you do a great job on our broadcast, and you backed us up on Friday night. We appreciate that very much. So and I appreciate you. If you get around this guy for very long, he bleeds orange. They can be 0-3,000 or 3,000. He's going to follow the balls, and I appreciate that. And he's always optimistic, and I appreciate that too. So anyway, Cody, thanks you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Good job.
No problem, Tom. Appreciate it.
All right, good man right there, buddy. Cody Helton, again, Tom Taylor Sports Show. We appreciate you being with us. If you'd like to talk, we'll open up the phones and let you talk. If you're out there, again, and want to weigh in on yay or nay, it's 262-8555, the number to call. We don't normally do this, and we won't sit here and wait, but if the phones ring, we'll pick them up and talk. 262-8555. What's going on with Tennessee football? If you think you want to weigh in, think you have the answer. Again, all I do is look at Michael Wayne down in Florida and what he has done with this football team with not very much talent, and that's by a lot of folks in Florida's admission. Muschamp left the cupboard pretty bare when he took off to Auburn. So you take a guy that's walked in and, he's got big wins, quality wins against Tennessee. You say Tennessee's quality win? Absolutely. It's a rivalry. It's the emotional tie to the SEC East. And then come back this week and put the hammer on Ole Miss? Absolutely. Now, things tighten up pretty quick if you look down the line for the Florida Gators. I think who they got next? LSU, I believe. So Mr. Fournette will be coming into the fold. So that would be into the I'll get my football magazine here, and I'll know for sure who's doing what. But I'm pretty sure Florida's got LSU this week, but I'll double-check. What we got coming up next, got the quiz show. My man, the Gator, going to be asking him the questions. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see how he does on the quiz show right after this timeout on this Monday. Picking up the pieces, Tennessee football. Not a good story going on right now in K-Town, as you well know. And Vol fans, you talk to some, they're all about it. You talk to some others, and they want to get rid of the guy. But, again, my question is, who in the world is going to come in after this again? And so, anyway, who's going to come in and follow this? You got Kiffin, you've got Dooley, and now you've got Butch Jones, and they're not happy with him. So, I don't know. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll carry on this Monday here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have, but find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with. But I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of healthcare, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic. Back with the Tom Miller Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Monday.
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings and salutations indeed, my friend. We got the Gator Man on ready for the quiz show on this Monday. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, if I was any better, I'd be twins.
There you go. All right, let's talk about it for a second. I know you're not a Tennessee fan, but tell me how that they can be where they are and Michael Wayne and the Gators with a depleted team. Not a typical Florida team talent-wise, and you guys are 5-0, up top 10 in the country now in the polls, top 11, 11th in the country in the polls, top 15. How can that happen? I mean, so I look at progress of programs. Butch Jones, third year, same number of wins as Derek Dooley. Jim McElwain, first year with a depleted team, and everybody can tell you that. The Muschamp left the cupboard pretty bare. Florida fans will tell you that. Other folks around the country tell you that too. It's not a typical Florida talented team, and yet they're 5-0 and the number 11 in the country. So how is that?
Coaching has a lot to do with it. I think God's smiling on the Gators once again.
Oh.
But I also, McElwain did a heck of a job recruiting. When he took over for the Gators, we were ranked 89th in recruiting, and he only had a few weeks to do it, and we finished 21st. So he brought in the players, and they're performing. There
you go. And he just got started. When did he take the job? He got handed the job at what point in the year?
It was right before the bowl game, but he didn't start. He had to wait till after the bowl game to take over.
So in 6 months, he jumps in what? What'd you say? 60-some notches in the
89th in recruiting to 21st.
Yeah. So that's
and
what?
They're playing. Against the Tennessee game, we got a redshirt quarterback, which he didn't recruit him, but we got two true freshmen on the offensive line that started and played in that game, and then the guy that caught the touchdown was a true freshman.
Yep. So you look at the standings: Florida 3-0, Georgia, Kentucky 2-1, Missouri 1-1, Tennessee and Vanderbilt at 0-2, South Carolina in the cellar, they're 0-3 in the East. In the West, Texas A&M and LSU are both 2-0. Ole Miss 2-1, Alabama middle of the pack right now. They're 1-1. Arkansas 1-1, Mississippi State 1-2, and Auburn at 0-2. So there are your standings. So I just I don't understand. I don't get it. And of course, we look at your all schedule. Florida goes back to back now. Two pretty good road games. Will be at Missouri, then they'll come back and play at LSU. So those will be two good tests of how good this football team is in Gainesville.
And then we play Georgia.
And then you got Georgia and Jacksonville. So you got a 3-game stretch going to decide. Go a long way in telling us how good your football team is. But right now you're 5-0, and you're on top of the conference, and that's all we can go by. So you're an athlete. You've played the game, been around sports. Butch Jones says, quote, what it takes to play winning football, we were not able to make big plays at critical points in the game.
That's something you don't want to hear in public.
If I'm on that team, I don't want to hear that. To me, that is an endorsement. You don't think we can get it done. You don't. In fact, he said last week, I thought this was interesting. He talked about last year's team. He said last year's team, the team I had last year, I don't think they always thought they could win every game.
Yeah, you don't.
That's on him. If you're a coach and you can't instill that on the kid, that's on you. I don't care. You look at Stacey Carter. I'm going to use Stacey. Friday night, 4th and 4 from the goal line, pouring down the rain. They're down 7-0. 4th and goal from the 4. He calls a timeout. Conventional wisdom is you go for a field goal and get some points. Stacey says, no, I believe in my offense. We're going to hammer this thing, and they scored. And so, to me, that tells me those kids got back on that bus and said, that coach believes in us. Absolutely. Yep. So when I pick up the phone, I pick up the paper and hear the head coach of a Tennessee football team or the Tennessee football team say, quote, what it takes to play winning football, we were not able to make big plays at critical points in the game. I don't want to hear that because that's my coach, and he should have said something differently. That tells me he thinks it was just a negative spin on it, and it didn't need to be because then he comes back and says, we hurt, I hurt, we all hurt. Yeah, but you don't say that in the paper. At least I don't think you do. But
no, there's some things that's behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And you were talking about body language. That goes for coaches, too.
Yep.
So if the players are seeing the body language to go along with those statements, that's not a good thing.
He may have reached a point down there he's trying to save his bacon. I mean, it may be forget what's best for the team. Of course, his buyout contract is pretty strong. He's not going to go broke if they get rid of him. But he may be in a save my bacon mode because he knows the Sharks are circling in Knoxville. I don't know, but again, Gator, what would you do if you're the athletic director, Dave Hart? I mean, if you can him now, literally in the middle of the season, you got to elevate one of the assistant coaches, or
you got to write him out.
Yeah, I mean. Everybody's wanting to get rid of him, and after the, fifth game, it's like, well, okay, but who's going to come in there, and who would follow in there? I mean, I guess anybody would because of the kind of money they pay you, but, you've had Kiffin and Dooley now. If Jones leaves at the end of the season or is asked to leave or even before then, I mean, would you come in there? Would you follow these three guys as the next coach of Tennessee football or not?
Would I?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, take the fact forget your allegiance with the Gators. Just take as a football coach.
In the coaching profession,
yeah,
you got to take a head coaching job.
All right, so
that's what you strive for every day is to be a head coach.
Yep. So anyway, I think they got lots of problems in Knoxville. And I think there's more to it. Something's going to come out.
Yeah, but you don't want to get rid of him in the middle of the season. That's sending the wrong message to everybody.
Yeah. So I would say
your wagons and you ride him out and ride out the storm.
Well, I don't know. I'm not trying to create a scandal because I'm not into scandals. I'm not into drama. But there's something not right down. It's going to come out. There's just not a good feel to this program. There should be. He's got the same wins as Dooley, Michael Wayne. Okay. Let's ask you this question. You're a Gator. You're a Florida Gator fan. How does Jim McElwain come in the bowl season and go out and hit the recruiting trail and get the kids that are playing now? They're not like, okay, we're 2 years away, we're 3 years away. He's winning with them 6 months later with these kids, some of them. Now, some of them are still Muschamp carryovers, but he goes out, what'd you say, goes from 89th to 21st in the recruiting classes. So how does a guy take 2 months, 3 months, however long he had to do it before the signing date in February? Well, no, he had about 60. He
didn't have long at all.
Yeah, the signing date's February the 1st. So let's say Christmas. If he just had it from Christmas, it's like 60 days or less than 60 days. So how does he go and get a recruiting class that jumps, what'd you say, 89 minus 61?
68 points.
Yeah.
He worked his butt off.
Yeah.
And, again, it comes down to personalities. Not saying anything about Butch Jones' personalities, but when you come into a kid's house, if you can't sell yourself, it doesn't matter what you're saying.
Here's another one. I'm looking at the standings. You can say what you want to, and I talked to Cody earlier. I don't think they'll beat Kentucky up at Kentucky. I think Kentucky will get them up there. They're an improved football team. They're 4-1. They're 2-1 in the conference. Now they struggle to get by Eastern Kentucky, and I know that, but it was in the rain, and that's not making excuses. And Eastern Kentucky's kind of a rival game. It's the little guy against the David and Goliath, and they should have blown them out, and they didn't. But I think when it's time, when they see that Orange get off that bus up there on a Halloween night or Halloween day, whenever they play it on the 31st, I think they're going to get revved up, and I think Stoops is going to, they recruit the same kids a lot in the Kentucky-Tennessee area, and I think you'll see Kentucky beat them, and that's a team that you need to be paying attention to too. But again, my point, Stoops has got in there, rebuilt that, and obviously very much a basketball school. So,
how much money they just spend on redoing their stadium? So they're not going to be a basketball school only for long.
Nope, they made the commitment. You're exactly right. Well put. So, anyway, that's what's going on in Knoxville. So your Gators head off to Missouri on Saturday. You like that one? Is that going to be tough? Can they get that one?
I think it'll be tough.
I do too.
Matty Mock, he can throw the ball. We're coming off a big win. It's a long way to travel. And, I hate to say the excuse we're young, but, we start 7 or 8 freshmen. Will they buy into the system?
Oh, I think they've bought into the system. I don't think it's.
I do too, but can they keep? Can they keep it for one more week, 1 week at a time?
If I'm a Gator fan, and I'm not, you know that, and I'm a Marshall.
We're praying for you.
I'm a Marshall man, and they won, by the way, 27-7 over Old Dominion. We are Marshall. But if I was a Gator fan and you're winning, you're 5-0, and you're 11th in the country with freshmen, I am jacked up because I'm thinking you guys can only go get better with these freshmen. Give them 2 more years. They're winning at 5-0, and they're freshmen and sophomores. Yeah, that's pretty exciting for a Gator fan. I know that's not the around
it's not
here.
Popular around here.
No, but that's all right. It's the way it is. So, and I think Alabama's found them a quarterback. I think you're going to see them take off now too. They settled in on Coker on Saturday. Also, we'll get into the quiz show. I want to ask you this question because I'm hearing Tennessee fans saying now, and I said this earlier in the show, Georgia's coming to town Saturday. They got embarrassed, and they're going to be down, and we're going to be able to whip them.
They're not going to be down.
I don't think they're going to be anything but down. I mean, if I'm on that team, and I'm crazy, I'm a competitor, so if I'm on that team, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to take somebody's helmet off their shoulders. I want to prove these people I'm for real. Not what happened on Saturday was a fluke. So I'm not coming in with my tail between my legs. I'm coming up here madder than a wet hen, ready to whip somebody. So, but that's just me, and I'm from West Virginia, and I march to a different drum beat. So
you're on the right drum beat right now. I think Georgia's going to come out with a vengeance.
Yep, I do too. All right, quiz show time with OK Corral. Here we go. Let's see if we can make it happen today. I'm asking him the questions for once. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I want to put 2 by my name up there.
Yep. Well, right up here on the wall, the Bracken Paving Asphalt Maintenance Scoreboard. Gator has 1. Horace has 1. Cody has 1. I got 12. All told, we have 16. And so, who are we playing for today, big guy?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Well,
I'll play for one of my customers, and I'll think of it.
All right. Who was the guy who was in there Saturday? What was his name? Steve. Make it
yeah, I'll play for him.
Yeah.
Humphreys.
Steve Humphreys. Yeah, good guy. Teaches and coaches up there at Holston Middle School. So we'll play
Great
for him.
actor, too.
Yes, he is a great actor. So here we go. Question number 1. It's college. College football. Here we go. True or false? Bo Jackson is the only player in Southeastern Conference history to rush 200-plus yards in 3 straight games. The only one's done it is Bo Jackson. Is that true or false?
I think that's going to be false.
Going to be false. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
All right. Do you know who it would be?
I'd have to say Herschel Walker.
No, that's who I would have thought. It's actually Leonard Fournette from LSU.
Well, yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, well, look who he played, too.
Oh, no, but think of all the great running backs in the Southeastern Conference down through the years of all the SEC. I mean, you got the Gators guys and the Alabama guys and Georgia running backs, everybody ever in the SEC. The only ones ever rushed for 200 yards or more in 3 straight games was Leonard Fournette this year, which I think is pretty –
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's real good.
Pretty amazing.
I don't think about modern-day stuff. I always think about past stuff on this, so I got to keep my eye on you.
There you go. Got to pay attention. So you got it right. He's 1 for 1. Number 2, Tennessee football. Evan Berry had that opening kickoff return for a touchdown. The first time they've started a football game with a kickoff return. The last time it happened, I'm looking for the year, was true or false, 1990. 1990. Last time Tennessee opened up a football game with a kickoff return for a touchdown, true or false, was 1990.
Well, it's 50-50.
Yes.
I'm going to say true.
True. Final answer?
Final answer.
All righty, let's hit it. And no, it was 1980. Willie Galt did it. Willie Galt did it back in 1980. All right. Sorry, Steve Humphreys. Maybe next week.
Well.
Question number 3, winningest football coach in Science Hill football history. True or false was and is the late Kermit Tipton. Is that true or false?
I think that's false.
That would be your final answer?
Is it Plowboy or something like that?
You got it. It would be Plowboy Farmer with 83 wins. Stacy Carter's got 47. He's going up the poll, but it would be indeed. It is the late Stuart Plowboy Farmer with 83. So, all right. Question number 3. The Virginia Tech Hokies were on the Gator, by the way, playing the quiz show. Question number 3. The Hokies, true or false, finished with 100 yards total offense on Saturday. They did, losing to Pittsburgh. That, true or false, is Frank Beamer's second worst total ever as a head coach of Virginia Tech. I'm looking for second worst. Is that true or false?
I'm going to say true.
True. Final answer?
Final answer.
You got it. Only his worst offense was his first year. He had 60 yards in one of his games in his first year 29 years ago. So the Hokies have got problems. They got beat by Pitt and had 100 yards of total offense in a college football game, Division I. Inexcusable. So the fan base in Blacksburg, they ain't happy. So the fan base in Knoxville, they're not happy. But in Gatorland, we're all happy right now, right?
Tickled to death.
Yeah. Just happy to be there. All right. Last question to finish strong in baseball. True or false, there's only been 5 pitchers to have no-hitters, to have 2 no-hitters in the same year. I'm looking for the number 5. There's only been 5 pitchers to ever have 2 no-hitters in the same year. The number is 5. True or false?
I think that's false.
False. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Wow.
It's 2.
It's 6. It's 6.
Okay.
But we'll take that. So it's the only one you missed, and it would be totally understandable that you did, was a Tennessee football question. So Evan Berry kickoff return. It was Willie Galt. So anyway, 4 for 5. It ain't too bad, is it?
One way Tennessee can beat the Gators.
There you go. All right. Now, you're closed today. Open back up tomorrow. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So fluffing and folding today?
I did that about 3:30 this morning.
Got up 3:30 and fluffed and folded his clothes. By the way, came down there Saturday, had a great time. We're going to be down there, by the way. Let's start promoting that next Tuesday. We're taking a show on the road to the Gator Man's house. We're going to be there on October the 13th, coming out of Veterans Day. And so we'll be there next Tuesday broadcasting live from your stalls, all right?
I think it's Columbus Day, though. Veterans Day is in November, isn't it?
You're exactly right. I'm sitting there reading the wrong. I'm looking at November. I don't know why I'm looking at it. You're right. It is Columbus Day. You're right. Either way, we'll be there next Tuesday on the 13th. We're going to be at your house, having a big time.
We'll be having a good day.
Yeah, absolutely good day. All right, Gator, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Oh, I was supposed to ask you. Well, here I've jumped the gun, but I still want to get you. Hang on a minute. Don't hang up. Let's get rid of the music. And you were there Saturday. All right, same questions. ETSU football got hammered by Saint somebody, 59-8. Oh, yeah, St. Francis, the Red Flash. So what's your take on this football team?
I'm going to support them all the way to the end. I think we've got a long way to go, but they're out there doing it, so we've won in that aspect. I don't want to say our talent level. Our talent level is just not there. I mean, we got some young guys that are playing against older guys and established programs, and we're laying the groundwork, so I will say that.
All right. Then I've got another question for you. I've always got questions. Dylan Wigger, young man out of Sullivan South, a very talented football player, maybe redshirted at this point of the season. Do you bring him out there because your 2 starting quarterbacks, by Carl Torbush's admission in the media, not getting it done to his liking? So do you bring in Wigger? Do you let him stay on the sideline and redshirt him for 4 more years? Do you bring him out there now?
If it was me, I wouldn't waste a red shirt unless injuries. The season's half over. I'd hate to see a kid lose half of your eligibility. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he could do much better with what's out there right now.
All right. So, yeah, the offensive line's a little shaky, to say the least, and everybody knew this going in. But, see, we're in a society, unfortunately, of short fuses or short patience. And so everybody says, yeah, well, we got to be patient. But when you're getting beat like getting beat, people still, they want to see a little progress, and that's what I keep hearing. It's like, okay, just be competitive, and they're not being competitive right now, and they got.
Well, they are on, and I'm not making excuses, but you got a first-year program going against teams that have been established. You know, we were competitive against Maryville and against Emory and Henry, which those are smaller schools, but that's basically what ETSU is right now.
Right.
And they were competitive there. A couple of mistakes, they could have 2 victories right now.
All right, I'll give you that. So, but
we should have beat Emory and Henry, 4th and 6 or 6 inches for a first down that would have clinched it. And Maryville let a guy get behind us, with a little bit of time left. So if things weren't different, they could have 2 wins and everybody'd still be happy. But I'm still proud of them.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just telling you that they got beat 59-8. It is what it is. You got to report it as is. But no, I'm all for them. I hope they do good. And I think the basketball team, from what I've been hearing, they're going to be lights out. They're going to be a lot of fun to go watch. And they had their first practice and scrimmage on Saturday with Coach Forbes. And all indications, some folks in there watching, about 300 people on Saturday morning watching it, and got treated as some slam dunking and some intense play. So it's right around the corner. It'll be here before you know it. So, no,
I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, laundromats take quarters, right?
Yes. Well,
How come there's always pennies on the floor?
Laundromats take quarters, always pennies on the floor at a laundromat.
I found 7 this morning.
7 pennies? Wow.
I figure if I go enough, I'll at least get one load by the end of the year. I've never understood that.
No, that's one of those little mysteries in life. At a laundromat, you got pennies laying around on the floor. I don't know that one. I can't answer that one, big guy. You've got me stumped. I have no clue. All right, I'm going to jump off here and roll. I appreciate you very much, and you're back at it tomorrow. Is that correct?
I'm back at it tomorrow.
And we'll be there next we'll do the quiz show next Monday. We'll be there next Tuesday, broadcasting live from your –
next Monday I'll be on the road.
There you go.
Coming back from Charleston.
All right. You're going to Charleston?
Going to Charleston Saturday after I close the shop.
Did you possibly read the weather? They've had some flooding down there, my friend, that it's going to be –
That's this week.
Oh, okay. All right.
It'll be pretty by next week.
I got you. All right. So, anyway, we'll be here next Monday. So, we'll be ready to go next Tuesday we'll be there at your place doing the quiz show next Tuesday, all right?
Right. I'll be there.
All right. Good man. I appreciate you very much. I'll talk to you then or before, all right?
All righty. Have a good one, Tom.
Thank you, Gator. Good man right there. I appreciate it very much. Good job. And went 4 for 5 in the quiz show. We'll take a quick break. We're going to talk to some other folks about Tennessee football. We got more to talk about than Tennessee football, too. We got NFL. We've got Major League Baseball. We got NASCAR. The chase has tightened up a little bit. Some guys got eliminated. We got all that to talk about in hour number 2 here. Come back with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. Whether lying on the beach, just working in your yard, or watching NASCAR racing this weekend in Bristol, your skin needs protection from the harmful effects of the sun. Blue Lizard Sunscreen delivers broad-spectrum SPF 30-plus protection that comes with smart bottle technology. Our bottle changes colors in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. It's the brand most recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Plus, it's made right here in the Tri-Cities. Blue Lizard Sunscreen. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Monday, October the 5th. Coming up, we'll talk NFL. Had some great performances over the weekend. Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, among others. Also, Major League Baseball getting ready to crank up. And that's going to be a lot of fun. That starts tomorrow. And let's do this right now. Let's go ahead and get our buddy Don Shepard on, talk a little Tennessee football. I'm perplexed over this football team, and I'm just looking for answers. Maybe they can give me some answers. Let's see. Here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Monday afternoon, October the 5th, day number 152 of our Fun and Frolic. Hello.
Hello.
There he is. Don Shepard, are you there?
I'm here.
There you go. Ready to go? You ready to go with me?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. Let's ride this train. So here we go. Don, of course, does our color on Science Hill football and does a fantastic job. And all right, you're a big Tennessee fan. I've had Cody on. I've had Gator on, who, you know, Gator's not too big a fan of Tennessee, but you are. And so did you watch the game Saturday night?
I watched at it, Tom. It was hard to watch.
Yes. All right. You've been around sports a long time. You and I talked about this on the bus coming up the other night from Hardin Valley. What is wrong with the Tennessee football team? Where does it start?
Well, they just can't win. You know, we look at the record now, 2-3. You look at the three losses, they were up in all those games. Oklahoma is up 17, Florida up 13, and Arkansas 14. You know, if ifs and was and could have been turned around, we could be 5-0 right now, like Gator's team, and we'd be fulfilling those expectations. I guess the fans had, the media put out. A lot of people in Tennessee expected a big season with all the coach speak and the media, everything that went around the recruiting was expected to be really good. The fact is, we're 2-3, and you know we still got 7 games left to go, and you know we got Georgia coming up this week. In my opinion, I think that's a loss. And then we go away to Alabama after a bye week. I think that's a loss. And then you got Kentucky away, probably a toss-up game. Kentucky played Florida real good, if I can remember right.
They did.
You got South Carolina at home, Texas at home. I think we can win both of those games. Then you got Missouri away after that. You know, Missouri's won the SEC East the last 2 years quietly and silently. They're still a good football team. I think that's a toss-up game, and then Vanderbilt at home to finish it up. I think that's a toss-up game. Those 3 toss-up games there with Kentucky, Missouri, and Vanderbilt, we have to win those now. We have to in order to be 7-5, which is what I kind of predicted our season to be anyway. But if we don't win all those toss-up games, and you know, if we lose 2 or 3 of them, we're not even going to be bowl eligible. So,
got to have 6 to get to. Got to have 6 to get to the bowl. So if you're Dave Hart, what do? The fan base is clamoring to get rid of this guy. They're on him, and some say give him another year. Some say cut him right now. I mean, if you're Dave Hart, the athletic director of Tennessee, I mean, here you are, as you said, game 5 under your belt. You got 7 more games left, 6 more games left. So 7 more games left. So what do you do if you're Dave Hart? You're sitting down there, and the phone's ringing off the hook, and fans are mad, and they don't like what's going on, and we're blowing leads left and right. You got his quote in the paper, which I just found amazing. What it takes to play winning football, we were not able to make big plays at critical points in the game. Well, for my money, that's on him and his coaching staff, not the kids necessarily. So, because you got to put them in a position to make those plays. But anyway, back to the question. If you're Dave Hart sitting down there and the phone's ringing off the hook, what do you do as the athletic director of Tennessee?
Well, surely you can't fire him.
No.
I mean, we paid Phil Fulmer for I don't know how many years, and then we paid Kiffin as well, and Dooley. So, I mean, you can't fire him. You got to give him an opportunity to finish what he's done. You know, this is his 3rd year. I know you mentioned earlier, and the talk's been that he gets the same record that Dooley has, or the wins. I think he's got better recruiting than Dooley had. I think we give them an opportunity, and we have to ride it out. We don't have no other choice but to ride it out.
But see, I hear that, and I agree with. He's got better recruiting, but he's not shown it. I mean, he does have better players, I think. From what I did, used to sit and watch Dooley's teams, and I think, holy smokes. So I do think he has better players, but he's not winning with them. So I don't. There's a breakdown somewhere.
I think you just have to get more aggressive with your play calling. They talked about Florida. They're pretty aggressive. They come out ahead 5 times this year. So I want to see Butch get fired up. I like to see him get upset a little bit. Say some of them colorful words that they tend to say, like heck, fire, and shucks, and dang it, and stuff like that. I like to see him get fired up, and I think he needs to get his offensive and defensive coordinators together and tell them, hey, let's roll the dice. I think if you try and fail, it will be accepted better by a Tennessee fan than to not try and to sit back on your heels. You're up 17 points, 13 points, 14 points in ball games. You're expected to win those games. Back when we had some other coaches, Majors and Fulmer, they would sit on the lead at the first period, first quarter. They'd get a lead and they'd try to start running clock. So they played not to lose rather than playing to win, and I think that's what the Tennessee fans are wanting to see.
We're talking to Don Shepard, again, our color commentator on Science Hill Football. He and I were there Friday night. Here's 2 different case scenarios. You even said on the air, and you said on the bus coming back home the other night, 4th and goal from the 4, conventional wisdom in a rainy night. You need some points, tie ball, or you're down 7-0. You kick the field goal and get you some sure points. Stacy calls the timeout and says, guys, take the ball in. We're going to go to the offense. 4th and goal from the 4, big play in the game. Of course, Elijah Mathis takes it in, Bedard's blocking for him. They score. So those kids get back on that bus, and they think, okay, this coach believes in us. He puts us in a tough situation, and we deliver, and so there's confidence. Now, I haven't watched the Tennessee game, so I don't, a lot of times I just turn down the sound and watch body language. Is this by watching them Saturday, is this a football team or their body language? Are they down? Have they packed it in? Are they wouldn't say give up, but are they doubting themselves right now?
Well, you're talking about 2 different things. Stacey Carter, of course, we've seen how he coaches. The issue is that Tennessee doesn't have a Justin Bedard. They don't have an Elijah Mathis or a Kobe Martin. They don't have defensive players like Bryson Tolley, Calabras, and Kennedy that just swarm the ball. Tennessee's got a lot of hype. They've just got no producers. You talk about the Science Hills football team. Hey, these kids have produced. Their stats are unbelievable. And Kevin Harmon with our staff, he gives us an update every week. I hope you've got yours this week. I have. And, just looking back on the other night, Bedard 6 of 9 for 157 yards and a touchdown. What time he was in there, he went out with that knee injury. And then Stacey Carter turns to the next guy up, and that's what it's been for Science Hill. Elijah Mathis was that next guy up. 4th and 4 onto 4. 4th and goal. This was it. And we talked about it. He called a timeout. I thought he was going to kick the field goal. That's what most people would do, but that's why he's coaching, and I'm trying to help you announce games. He rode the hot hand. Tennessee has just not had that hot hand. We've talked about her. We've talked about Pig Howard, and I guess he's injured for Tennessee. We've got Kamara back in the backfield. We've got Josh Smith, the excellent receiver. I think he caught a couple of balls Saturday. They don't have these guys that are stepping up when Tennessee's quarterback can't do it. They just don't have it.
Well, and we're talking to Don Shepard. Those points are well taken. I guess I wouldn't make myself clear. My point on this is the kids at Science Hill believe in their coach and believe in the system, and he showed confidence in him. I don't watch him. That's why I'm asking you. You do watch him. I don't watch him, so I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. But when I make this statement, but my question is, when you see the Tennessee guys, do you think they have the same confidence in their coach as the Science Hill kids do and the Elizabethan kids do and the DB kids do and their coaches from a confidence standpoint, like, okay, we're going to get this done? Because when you squander leads, something's wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't watch them, but something's wrong. Do you see the same air of confidence, again, my question, from the Tennessee players to Butch Jones as you would the Science Hill kids to Stacey Carter?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You can answer that question by the body language. I know you don't watch, but you can watch the Tennessee players, the coaches, and even Butch Jones himself. Their body language, it's not a winning body language. Stacey Carter, Witten over in Elizabeth, and
Clark up at team sport. These guys, they instill confidence. They walk with it. They don't just talk the talk, but they walk the walk, and they've been successful as well. These Tennessee players up down there, they've not been successful yet, so they really have no true leadership down there, whether it's whoever spot it is. Butch Jones is the head coach, and he's the one that's going to feel the brunt of the voices of the Tennessee Vol alumni as well as their fans.
We're talking to Don Shepard, again, our color commentator. We got football Friday night. Again, William Blunt coming to town against the Hilltoppers, and we'll be back on the air at 7 o'clock on Friday night, bringing you a great broadcast and a great staff that does it. All right, so missed opportunities. A 71-yard Alvin Kamara, I guess how he said Kamara punt return. Second quarter wiped out by an illegal block penalty. Medley missing a 28-yard field goal try, bouncing off the upright in the first period. Game's only turnover, a fumble by Preston Williams at the Arkansas 9-yard line, killing a drive in the second quarter. So these are the kind of things happening for Tennessee football, and those are confidence killers, no question. You have those kind of mental mistakes cost your football teams. That would be 7, and a field goal, that's 10. And let's say go ahead and make the assumption they're going to score on this drive. That'd be another 7. That's what, 17 points that you saw go by the boards potentially because of miscues and missed opportunities. So bottom line is Tennessee had only 4 possessions and produced 90 yards in the second half. Vols rushed for 129 yards in the first half. Don Shepard, they had 4 yards rushing in the second half in a Southeastern Conference football game. So
that ain't going to cut it.
No, it ain't cutting it. So anyway, we've pretty much hammered these guys, and I'm just curious because I'm not a Tennessee fan. Well, I am on the fringes. You have to be if you live around here, quite frankly. So I'd like to see them do good because it makes everybody happy. The world's better in East Tennessee when the Vols are doing good. But I'm like you. And now here's another question. I heard at church yesterday that Georgia got beat, got embarrassed, got hammered, and they did. They're going to come up here down and wounded, and we're going to get a chance to get them because we're going to catch them down. I don't see Georgia coming to town down on Saturday. What about you?
No, that's some of them orange-colored glasses. And me being a Tennessee fan, and I appreciate Cody Helton's optimism, but I'm a realist. Georgia's going to come in here upset, and they're going to take everything out on Tennessee. Tennessee's the one that's down. They're looking at a loss this week. They're looking at a bye week of trying to rebuild or whatever Butch is speaking now. And then they've got Alabama. So you're looking at 2 more losses. It's a 2-5 football team. The fans are going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. But then we can, maybe rebound with a 5-game or a 4-game, 5-game win there. Kentucky, South Carolina, North Texas, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. So the season's not over, but orange-colored glasses are not going to help them win the football game coming with the Bulldogs coming into UT this week. That's sure.
Here's a couple of breaking sports stories just coming across. We'll talk more about this in a minute. The Washington Nationals have fired their manager, Matt Williams. He's gone. And also the Dolphins today fired Joe Philbin, first NFL coach gone. He's 1-3. Dan Campbell is the interim coach in Miami. So Joe Philbin gets the axe as they lose to the Jets in London. They're out. And so Philbin's gone, and Matt Williams is gone as the manager of the Washington Nationals. So there's a couple of changes in the sporting world here this afternoon. Again, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Before I let you go, let's look at the SEC real quick. Schedules this week, LSU's at South Carolina. That could be a trap game for LSU, although South Carolina, this I would think be a must-win for them. They're 0-3 right now in the Southeastern Conference. New Mexico State goes to Ole Miss. I got to go Ole Miss on that one. Troy and Mississippi State. Arkansas turns right around, heads to Alabama for a 7 o'clock kickoff, and that could be interesting, as big as they are, and a ball-controlled football team. And then Florida heads off to Missouri. So got a couple of good ones. I would think Arkansas, Alabama, and Florida, Missouri be 2 pretty good ball games. And they, of course, have interest in the SEC East with Florida playing at Missouri. As you said, they have quietly won the SEC East back-to-back years, and here they are in the middle of the pack at 1-1. So Missouri kind of controls their own destiny, as most everybody does. But I guess they could start this Saturday with a big win on Saturday night against Florida when they come to town, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think Florida's and I think any Florida fan, they've been playing a little bit over their head. I know that's the coach's first year and everything, but nobody expected Florida to be 5-0. I think when they face this Missouri team that Tennessee placed, it is going to be a good battle. The Alabama-Arkansas game, I think Alabama wins that pretty handedly. Their one loss this year, I think that's all you're going to see from Alabama.
I think you're right. I think they're reloaded. They got Coker. They've settled on him as their quarterback, and the proof's in the pudding. They went into town and whipped up on a pretty good Georgia team, and Chubb will be coming this way. If Collins got 154 yards against Tennessee and he's the running back for Arkansas, Nick Chubb may be the best in the country, he and Fournette out of LSU. Could be a long evening or long – when is this game? It'll be 3:30 kickoff. It could be a long afternoon for the Tennessee defense. They turned Chubb loose, and we'll see. I know was it Gurley came up here 2 years ago and got hurt? Did he – yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, he came up 2 years ago and got hurt in the Tennessee game, so hurt his knee. But anyway, hey, we'll have you Friday night. Can't wait. You do a fantastic job, and we get a chance to call these Hilltoppers. They're a pretty exciting football team to watch. And, you know, talking about them before we hang up here, you talk about Bedard, you talk about Elijah Mathis, but, hey, the strength of that football team is that defense. I mean, the other night we had two block punts early in the ball game, and things could have gone bad real quick for Science Hill. But you take, as you mentioned earlier, Tolley, Cameron Burris, Alabokas, Kennedy, Costas Kalogris. Let's see who else. Landon Brown was in a lot of plays. Davy White. I mean, a lot of these guys stepped up, and they have a heck of a defensive unit. It really stonewalls, with the exception of Marable. I don't think anybody's going to stonewall them, but they've stonewalled everybody's offense so far. Even Bradley Central's great quarterback. So Science Hill's defense is pretty strong, isn't it?
Yeah, they are pretty strong, and, you know, it's like their offense that has so many offensive weapons. Anybody that touches the ball can go to the house at any time. That defense, it doesn't matter where the offense runs at them. There's somebody there. We mentioned all those names. You did Gage, Marcus, these guys. It's the next man up to them, and they feed off each other. And these guys, a lot of these guys play both ways as well. You know, we talk about Alabokas. He had played the first couple of games both ways, and then he went strictly defense, and we've seen him run in and out on offense as well. So that's what it takes. Stacey Carter understands that, and he gets it done. And hopefully we can take care of William Blunt Friday night and move on to the next.
You got it. Remaining games, William Blunt and Jefferson County at home. Then we head out to Bearden on October the 23rd and wrap things up on the 30th in Kingsport against the Indians of Graham Clark. Glad you're on our team, my friend. Have a great day. I know you got your day job to go back to. I appreciate you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. And again, thank you for doing a fantastic job. That was an answer to prayer when the man said, let's give this thing a whirl, and we'll give it a try doing color commentating. And you are dynamite, and I appreciate you very much.
Well, I appreciate you, and God bless you.
Yep, and we'll talk to him soon. That's our buddy Don Shepard. Again, good man right there. And we're here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Monday afternoon. We have delved into a lot of time devoted to Tennessee football, so we're going to switch gears and come back, and we're going to we got NASCAR to talk about. We haven't even started on NASCAR yet. Also, the polls are out this week in college football. We are going to talk about that. And let's see. Also got NASCAR, as we mentioned, Major League Baseball. We just told you Matt Williams canned. I'm not sure why Brian Price hasn't been canned in Cincinnati, but we already talked about that. They finished, 32 games out. They're going to bring this guy back. Second year in a row, they've woefully, maybe they're not. Maybe we're giving the Cincinnati Reds team more credit than they deserve, but I think they're a better baseball team than what they showed this year. And then some of them crying about injuries. Every team's had some key injuries. Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals are starting. Their ace, their team, gets hurt before the start of the season. They went out and won 100 games. So it's more than just one guy. And so I don't know what it is in Cincinnati. It's kind of like down in Knoxville, but they got issues, and so they brought this guy back, and I don't get it. The manager of the Reds, Brian Price, is coming back next year after finishing 32 games out. Everybody else that's had a so-so year, as we told you, Matt Williams gone as the Nationals manager. They woefully also underachieved. They did not accomplish their goal was to get to the playoffs. The Mets are in their place. They've canned him. The Padres got rid of their manager late yesterday, Murphy. They're looking for a new manager in San Diego. Joe Philbin has got fired this afternoon, the coach of the Miami Dolphins. And so they lost their third straight game, so he's out. And Dan Campbell's interim coach now for the Miami Dolphins. So things in disarray in some places around the country in sports. And, again, we'll take a quick break. We'll come right back, and we'll jump in and talk a little NASCAR. JJ out, Harvick in, and others. We'll tell you all about that right after you hear this on a Monday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics. 1-800-524-4447. Whether lying on the beach, just working in your yard, or watching NASCAR racing this weekend in Bristol, your skin needs protection from the harmful effects of the sun. Blue Lizard Sunscreen delivers broad-spectrum SPF 30-plus protection that comes with smart bottle technology. Our bottle changes colors in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. It's the brand most recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Plus, it's made right here in the Tri-Cities. Blue Lizard Sunscreen. We've got you covered.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Monday, October the 5th. Before we switch gears, I do want to talk a little bit more about Virginia Tech football. The Hokies did not do well. They're struggling, to say the least. They're a 2-3 football team, 0-1, losing to the Pitt Panthers on Saturday. Final score of that ball game was 17-13, and a not real good performance by the Hokies, to say the least, as they lose in Blacksburg 17-13. Again, part of the quiz show with Gator earlier in the broadcast was the last time they only had 100 yards total offense. 100 yards of total offense, not just rushing, not just passing. That's combined in that ball game by the Virginia Tech Hokies, which is not going to get it done, obviously. They finished with 9 rushing yards on 33 carries, lost 57 yards to sacks. So, again, not a good outing for they, or, of course, in their defense, they lose their starting quarterback opening game of the season against Ohio State, Brewer, but still, Motley's not getting it done. Motley, again, on the night, 9 for 20 with 3 interceptions and 91 yards passing. 9 for 20, less than 50%, 3 picks and 91 yards passing. Rushing the football, it's almost embarrassing to say this, but I'm going to say it. Virginia Tech had 33 rushes in the football game. 33 rushes for a total of 9 yards. Not going to get it done. They're not happy in the Hokie Nation either. You think there's unhappy folks in Knoxville? There's some unhappy folks in the Hokie Nation, too, and deservedly so. They'll have North Carolina State at home on Friday night. Big conference matchup. Both teams, of course, in the ACC, and North Carolina State right now in the ACC. They are a 0-1 football team. They're 4-1 overall. Tech 0-1 and 2-3. 33 carries for 9 total yards for the Virginia Tech running game. Wow. Holy smokes. Anyway, they need some help. They need to get her turned around, and we'll see. They had 49,000 there for 49,120 for that football game on Saturday. So the Hokies, again, need to get it turned around. And 33 carries, 9 yards. Motley, your freshman quarterback, getting better each game. Well, you want to think anyway, growing up. But that's 9 for 20, 3 interceptions and 91 yards. I can run down the list. I mean, Justin Bedard at Science Hill. I don't know, it's apples and oranges, but there are high school quarterbacks that had better days than that, or better nights. So that's got to change if you're going to have any kind of success at Virginia Tech for the rest of the years. No question. That's got to be changed, and they know that better than anybody. Polls are out this week. Let's run them down for you. The Associated Press Top 25. It goes as follows. Ohio State, TCU. Ohio State gets a scare from Indiana, but they hang on to win. TCU, Baylor, Michigan State, and Utah. There has been some changes. Last week, the number 2 team, Michigan State, they fall to number 4. TCU goes from 4 to number 2. Ohio State, Texas Christian, Baylor, Michigan State, and Utah, the top 5. Clemson, big win for the Tigers of Dabo Swinney. They double their jump. They jump 6 notches from 12th to 6th. They're 4-0. LSU at number 7. Alabama back into the top 10. They pick up 5 notches. They're in at number 8 this week. And rounding out the number 9 team is Texas A&M. Rounding out the top 10, Oklahoma jumps 5 more notches from 15th to 10th. So Ohio State, TCU, Baylor, Michigan State, Utah. Then comes Clemson, LSU, Alabama, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma, the top 5. Then comes Florida. Florida jumps 14 notches from 25th to 11th. They're not that good. I'm just going to tell you. They're good. They're improving every week, but they're not the 11th best team in the country. And they'll find out. Big test for them, as we told you, go to Missouri on Saturday night. If you win that game, then I would say they're a solid 13th, 14th, 15th ranked team, but I don't think they're 11th in the country. We're talking about the Gators. Florida State struggled against Wake Forest. They're 12th in the state, 12th in the country. Then comes Northwestern. Ole Miss drops 11 notches from 3rd to 14th. The Gators got them, as you know. Notre Dame falls out, deservedly so. I don't think they were the 6th best team in the country. Notre Dame falls to 15th. Don't think Florida's the 11th best team in the country. Stanford, Southern Cal, Michigan. Georgia falls like a rock from 19th to 8th. I don't think they're that bad. I think they're a 13th, 14th ranked team somewhere through there. I think they're better than 19th. But again, losing Alabama the way they did, understandably so. The pollsters drop them like a rock. 20th ranked UCLA, 21st ranked Oklahoma State. New into the lineup, Iowa in at number 22. California, the Golden Bears, 23rd. Toledo. Remember they went into Arkansas and beat the Razorbacks? Maybe they're not a fluke. They're 4-0. And they're in the 24th ranked position this week, and Boise State rounds out the top 25. So, I guess the biggest drop, no question, was Georgia dropping 11. Notre Dame dropped 9. Mississippi dropped 11 spots. And the biggest jump, as we told you, was Florida jumping 14 notches from 25th to 11th. They're not the 11th best team in the country, but, hey, they got a chance to prove me wrong coming up on Saturday when they go to Missouri to take on Mizzou. So there you go. Let's take a look at the NFL here again on this Monday, October the 5th, 2015. Quiz show went 4 for 5. Gator man got 4 out of 5. Did pretty good. The one he missed, Evan Berry. Opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Last time it happened in Tennessee football was 19 90 by Willie Galt, and it's wrong. It was 1980, and he got everything else right. So pretty good showing by the one we call the Gator Man. We asked him the questions today, and hey, he didn't do too bad, quite frankly. What else going on? Let's tell you about some high school sports. We'll do that coming up here in just a few minutes. Let's take a look at the NFL. Drew Brees and the Saints go in, and he was injured and found a way to play, and play he did. 33 out of 41 passing, 359 yards. And again, the Saints rolled into Dallas, beat them in overtime 26-20. Big game, big win for Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. No question, they needed that one. Big shot in the arm. They got their guy back. He's been injured. They're now 1-3, got their first win of the season. Carolina stays undefeated. Atlanta stays undefeated. Green Bay's undefeated. Denver's 4-0. Bengals are 4-0. Patriots had an off week. So let's take a look at it again. Drew Brees and the Saints, 26-20 final in overtime over the Cowboys. Rams beat the Cardinals 24-22. Todd Gurley out and running for the first time, and boy, did he ever. Had something to prove, and he did. 19 carries, 146 yards for Todd Gurley. Former Georgia back, as you know, blew out his knee and rehabbed, and so looking for some consistency and a chance to tote the mail for Jeff Fisher, and boy, did he ever. 19 carries, 146 yards, and a nice day for Todd Gurley as they get a big win. Cardinals and Rams. Rams beat them 24-22. Jets beat the Dolphins, cost Joe Philbin his job this afternoon, 27-14 the final in London. He's gone. Dan Campbell, the interim coach now for the Dolphins, as they'll come back to home and get ready to see who do they play this week. Dolphins will have an open date, so they can him in the open date to let this new guy get the system in place best he can in a week to 10 days. Joe Philbin fired as the coach of the Miami Dolphins. Panthers 37-23 winners over the Jameis Winston-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Winston 26 out of 43, 4 interceptions, 287 yards. Not a good start this season for the rookie Winston. He had a couple of touchdown passes, overshadowed obviously by Cam Newton, who was 11 out of 22 for 124 yards. Newton had two touchdown passes. Carolina beat him 37-23. Panthers at 4-0. And Carolina will have a open date. And they do. Yep, they're open dates. They'll go off with some downtime, 4-0, and very happy about themselves. They should be. Elsewhere in the National Football League, Redskins beat the Eagles 23-20. Kirk Cousins, 31 out of 46, 290 yards. As the Redskins get field goals from Hopkins, and they've got touchdown run by Cousins, touchdown pass from Cousins. So Sam Bradford for Philadelphia, 15 out of 28, 270 yards. Yet it was a big win for the Redskins as they defeat the Philadelphia Eagles at FedEx Field. That was one that was up for grabs because of the weather. Kirk Cousins, 4-yard touchdown to Pierre Garcon with 26 seconds left. Garcon, I should say, left for Washington. Redskins now 2-2. Who else won? Bengals go to 4-0. Third best start in franchise history. 2 wins shy of the club record. Bengals in Cincinnati all over the Chiefs, 36-20. Andy Dalton adding to his streak of impressive games and big plays, throwing a 55-yard touchdown pass on the run, and Cincinnati staying unbeaten. So Dalton and the Bengals, a 15-point win over the Chiefs. And Kansas City, I hate that for them. They're in the AFC West, you know. They're 1-3. They're in the cellar of the league right now. Who else played and did well? Yeah, let's get it over with. The Raiders gagged one. They are on their way to a victory. Grabbed the lead on a field goal, but Sebastian Janikowski with over 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Set up an interception, but Cutler takes him down the field. And Robbie Gould, with 2 seconds left in the game, hits a 49-yard field goal to beat the Raiders, 22-20. Raiders back home at 2-2. Yeah, they gagged that one. So that's life in the fast lane, I guess. We had a chance to win and should have won that ball game and did not. And credit the Bears. They found a way to win. Much as I hate to say that, it pains me because I lost a lunch bet with Tom Wyman. So I lost a billfold bet. I got to buy him lunch, and then I got to hear about it during the lunch. So I may just send him over to the Roadrunner or someplace, just sit in the front in the parking lot, eat some pork rinds and a Sprite and leave me alone. So Raiders are 2-2. Who else in the NFL? Well, the Giants beat the Bills 24-10. Rashad Jennings, broke 3 tackles, scoring a 51-yard touchdown catch midway through the fourth period. New York seals the victory over Buffalo. Eli Manning, 20 out of 35, 212 yards and 3 touchdowns. Giants now 2-2. The Bills go to 2-2. They're flagged. Rex Ryan's chewing them up today. Wouldn't want to be in that practice. 17 penalty flags against the Bills for 135 yards. Holy tamale. Giants win at 24-10 over the Bills. Colts over the Jags, 16-13. Adam Vinatieri, 27-yard field goal in overtime to give Indianapolis an NFL record-tying 15th consecutive win over a division opponent. As they beat the Jags 16-13, Jacksonville now 1-3. Colts improved to 2-2 on the season. And Colts, how did Luck do? Luck passing the football, not there. Luck was injured. My apology. Hasselbeck, 30 out of 47 for 282 yards. So, anyway, they win a big win to the Colts, 16-13. They're all big, of course, in the NFL. Chargers over the Browns, 30-27. Given a second chance due to a penalty kick, rookie Josh Lambo kicked a 34-yard field goal as time expired. Chargers get a victory over Cleveland, snapping a 2-game losing streak. His field goal attempt wide right on a 39-yard attempt, but Cleveland's Tramon Williams was whistled for offside. Got another chance. He nailed it. Browns fall to 1-3, and Chargers improved to 2-2. You got to know that's going to be. That's a backbreaker. Fly all the way across country, get it down to that chance to seal the deal. You win the ball. Well, actually, been going into overtime. It was tied 27, but still, you put yourself in a position to go into OT, and this guy jumps offside. They get another chance and kick the winning field goal with time expired. Chargers win big, or win, not a big, but it's a big win for them, 30-27. Packers go, man, they hammered a very, very poor football team. San Francisco's got all kinds of problems. Clay Matthews and the Packers win at 17-3. Aaron Rodgers, 224 yards and a touchdown. Green Bay beat the hapless San Francisco 49ers. They're 4-0 for the first time in 4 years in Green Bay. Yeah. Green Bay 4-0 and seemed unfazed with a short week after beating Kansas City on Monday. Well, that's true. They had a short week and came back and got her done. Green Bay will come back this week. Where are they at? Packers will be at home against St. Louis. So they have three games in a short period of time, and they'll be at Lambeau on a 1 o'clock kickoff there. And Peyton Manning has led his team to a 4-0 start 7 times, most in NFL history by a long shot. Manning picked off twice with the Vikings. Doesn't matter. They got a W. They're 4-0, and they beat the Vikings 23-20. Brandon McManus, 39-yard field goal, 151 left. Denver had 7 sacks in the Broncos' win over Minnesota. Adrian Peterson, it was okay. Wasn't a world beater, but he did all right. Wasn't a typical, that we're used to, Adrian Peterson kind of day. Peterson rushing the football, 16 carries, 81 yards, had a touchdown. But again, the Bronx win it 23-20. Standings again as we go to the break. New England had a week off. They're 3-0 in the American Conference East. In the South, it's Indianapolis 2-2 on top. In the North, Cincinnati at 4-0. In the West, Denver at 4-0. The Raiders are tied with the Chargers. We've got Denver on Sunday afternoon in Oakland. In the NFC, Dallas, the Giants, and the Redskins all 2-2 to be tied for the lead. In the South, Carolina and Atlanta are 4-0. In the North, Green Bay at 4-0. And in the West, Arizona at 3-1. When do Carolina and Atlanta play each other? It won't be this week. Carolina's got the week off. Redskins will be in Atlanta to battle the Falcons, who are, as we said, at 4-0. NFL Monday Night Football tonight. You've got Detroit at Seattle. Thursday night, short week for the Colts, and the Texans will play each other in Houston. 8:25 start on Thursday night. So, again, your winners. Down the line we go. Of course, Baltimore beat Pittsburgh in overtime on Thursday night. The kicker from the Steelers gone. They let him go after he cost them the game. And he said, I feel like I left my teammates down. He did. And the Steelers awarded him with a severance check and a pink slip. Jets beat Miami. Chicago beat Oakland. Colts over Jacksonville in overtime. Giants beat Buffalo. Carolina beat Tampa Bay. Washington over Philadelphia. Atlanta beat Houston. Bengals over Kansas City. San Diego defeats the Browns. Packers over the 49ers. Whew, San Francisco's a bad football team. Look at their numbers. They have scored 48 points this season, the lowest of any team in the National Football League. 48 points in 4 games. You can do the math. 4 12s or 48. They're averaging 12 points a game. Whew, that ain't going to get it done. 49ers 1-3. Also, you have in the score column from yesterday, St. Louis beat Arizona, Denver over Minnesota. In overtime, the Saints beat the Cowboys, and the Titans in New England had the night off or the week off. Tonight, Detroit at Seattle. Thursday, Indianapolis at Houston. Next week, Titans back in action. The Buffalo Bills come to Nashville for a 1 o'clock kickoff this Sunday. The Raiders home against Denver. Whew. They're going to have a chance. They're going to have a chance on that one. Offensive line, so-so for the Broncos. I think the Raiders are going to get to him. He being Peyton. Of course, Peyton's Peyton. But with that new offense, he's not so much back there in a shotgun, giving him more time to pick people apart. I'm predicting a Raiders win on that one. We'll see. Bears will be in Kansas City. St. Louis at Green Bay, as we told you. Seattle and Cincinnati. It'll be a good matchup there. Seahawks and the Bengals. Washington at Atlanta. Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. The Saints in Philadelphia. Baltimore home to Cleveland. Detroit hosting Arizona. Patriots will be in Dallas to battle the Cowboys. That'll be a good one. San Francisco and New York. That won't be a good one. Giants will kill them. And a week from tonight, Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh. The Steelers will be in San Diego to battle the Bolts, as they're called, the San Diego Chargers. Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're into hour number 2, about to wrap up. Get ready for hour number 3. We've talked Tennessee football, a lot about Tennessee football, the SEC, Virginia Tech, the NFL. We've talked again about the college football polls. We do this every day from 11 to 2. We certainly appreciate you being with us. And we'll take a break and come back. We're going to switch gears and talk a little baseball. Also, we got NASCAR. We haven't even touched NASCAR yet. Kevin Harvick does what he needs to do. He has moved on, and we'll tell you all about that coming up again on this Monday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. As we go to the break, volleyball starts. Volleyball tournament's up and running tonight. The AA tournament at Sullivan North, the AAA tournament at Crockett. Also, you have volleyball tournament starting tomorrow in Southwest Virginia. For the Southwest Virginia folks, the District 1 AA tournament, again, starting today. And in Crockett, the AAA starts today. And we'll tell you all about that. And also you have soccer. Got some soccer matches going on tonight. So it's a busy time. Fall sports winding down, if you can believe that. Basketball, winter sports, wrestling, swimming, basketball. Not that far away from getting ready to get started on official. They're doing conditioning now, but to officially get started, not that far away. We'll talk baseball, we'll talk high school sports, and we'll talk NASCAR. All that coming up here in the last hour here again on this Monday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We'll take a break, come right back. We appreciate you very, very much being here with us, and we'll, as we say, jump in here and get after it, and we'll talk some more sports right after you hear this. We're into hour number 2 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. I asked owner Richard Isaacs, is there a template or is the sky the limit?
Pretty much the sky's the limit. We have a very good drawing system that you come in, tell me what you want. If you have a set of house plans that you're working with, you're building a new house, we can take it off the house plans, we can draw it up, do you 3D drawings where you can see exactly where all the doors, the drawers, the color of the cabinets, kind of get close to the color of the countertops in your drawings. Go over that with you, then you can say, well, Richard, let's change this. I'd rather for that door to open the other way, or I want that cabinet to be bigger, that cabinet to be smaller. We can customize it to your needs. It's all about what the customer wants. We want them to be happy when they leave here.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE master technicians here. With the ratio, it goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
And back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Monday, October the 5th, show number 152. Again, we are looking at, well, the countdown to Christmas down to 80 days from today. We're very excited about that. Next Tuesday, we're taking our show on the road. We're going to be live at Cherokee Barbershop. Also, we're going to take our show on the road one day this month. We're going to be at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Highway Motor Mile, Johnson City. We'll finalize that and let you know when we're going to be there. Taking the show on the road, broadcasting live on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're very excited about that. Also going to be going to Mike's Medicine Mart. Going to be going there in the month of October. Also to Book Lovers Warehouse. We've got several places going to be going. But again, our first one coming up this month will be next Tuesday on the road. We'll be at Cherokee Barbershop in South Johnson City, home of the Gator Man. We've got to be over there to hang with my man, talk a little sports, and have a big time on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Day number 152. And I always want to remind you, too, if you got something you want to talk about, we're a phone call away. We don't live and die with the phone, obviously, but we will. If that phone's ringing, we're going to take it and talk sports, whatever you got on your mind. 262-8555, the number to call. Always remember that number, 262-8555. You want to talk sports and whatever topic you got on your brain, we'll talk. And, of course, right now we're going to delve into the NASCAR segment here of the show. And show goes as follows. Jamie McMurray, Paul Menard, Clint Boyer eliminated as a chase field slice from 16 down to 12. A dominating performance by Kevin Harvick. Dominated the race. He had to win, as a matter of fact, to advance to the second round of the playoff, while the 6-time champion Jimmy Johnson eliminated from the field. Still going to race, but he can't win the championship. Harvick led 354 laps yesterday at Dover and earned the third automatic berth in the 12-driver chase for the Sprint Cup Championship. Harvick again mired in 15th in the standings and had to win to keep his title defense alive. And, of course, he kept saying on the radio, never quit, never quit, never quit. And they didn't, to his credit. His back was up against the wall and he had to have a W, and he got it. He won it and was very dominating in his performance. So, who's out? Jamie McMurray, Paul Menard, Clint Boyer eliminated along with Jimmy Johnson. Johnson entering 5th in the standings with 10 career wins at Dover, seemed a lock to advance, but his 48 Chevy had a torn rear axle seal. He was done for the day, and he's out. He cannot win the championship. Here is who can win. 4 more drivers will be eliminated in the next 3-race segment. It will start this week at Charlotte. Here's who's in. Joe Gibbs Racing drivers Denny Hamlin and Matt Kenseth had already earned spots for the next round, so they're in, having won the first 2 races. And now Harvick is into the next round. He's guaranteed. Carl Edwards also advancing. Edwards, Joey Logano, Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Kyle Busch are still in the running to win the chase for the championship. Next stop will be this Sunday in Charlotte. We'll have Jeff just went blank. Jeff Birchfield on a little bit later on this week from the Johnson City Press talking a little NASCAR. Also going to be working on getting Bob Pockris. He's scheduled to be with us this week. We'll visit with him. And also we're working on Pat Patterson, see if we can get him on from the Performance Racing Network, get his take on what's going on right now at the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. We're working on those guys, get them on later on this week on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Truex survived after he was sent to the rear for the field after his team made an unapproved adjustment to the right rear after inspection. Gordon's drive for a 5th championship is still alive in the final season. Let's run them down for you yesterday. Harvick wins the race. Then you have Kyle Busch second. Yeah, hit that. That's my man, Kyle Busch. He can drive. Finishes second. He moves on to the second round. His back was up against the wall, too. And he is moving on to the next round. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jamie McMurray, Eric Almirola. Nice run for Eric. Finishing 5th, Casey Kane. Big disappointment this year, in his own words. Finishes 6th. Matt Kenseth 7th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 8th. Kyle Larson 9th. There's a guy I thought was going to make some noise this year. He has not. He's done okay, but he's not really done okay. He's struggled, to say the least. Kyle Larson finishing 9th after qualifying 19th. Joey Logano rounds out the top 10. Has been quiet over the last 3 or 4 races after having a pretty good mid-season stretch, winning races for Penske Racing, and Joey Logano finishing 10th. Then comes Truex Jr., Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle, Clint Boyer, Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, 17th yesterday. Denny Hamlin, 18th. Ryan Newman, 19th. Sam Hornish Jr., rounding out the top 20 of the NASCAR Sprint Cup race at Dover. Danica Patrick, always want to let you know where she's at. She qualified 24th and finished 21st. You can go back and look at Danica's numbers. She almost always finishes in the 20s, either from the 20th to the 29th, somewhere through there. Just pretty much where she always lands in her racing. The notables went out early. Jimmy Johnson, he went down 364 laps. All he got locked in after a 400-lap race. So he missed, 30-some laps of racing. That was the big name that went out yesterday. Trevor Bank continues to struggle. He qualified 29th and finished 31st. I would think his Roush Fenway racing ride may be in jeopardy. Jack Roush said more than once, including race week at Bristol, that Chris Buescher is going to be a guy that's looking for a seat next year in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Trevor Bank both have underperformed through the eyes of Jack Roush, not where they want them to be. So we'll see if one of those gets the boot. If they'll add another team, I can't imagine adding another team. One of these guys may lose their seat. It was announced over the weekend that Clint Boyer, we told you on Thursday, took Friday off or traveled with the football team. Last Thursday, told you Clint Boyer is going to be driving for Tony Stewart in 2017. Next year, picks up a ride with the Scott folks, and he's going to be riding a 1-year deal with them for Clint Boyer, which is pretty exciting news for him, I'm sure. David Reagan still looking for work as he's part of that Michael Waltrip racing team. Reagan, again, yesterday, how do you do to help his cause? He qualified 28th and finished 22nd in the Toyota, and he finished 2 laps off the pace. But David Reagan looking for work. We'll see. I know Elliott Sadler talking maybe to go back up in the Cup Series if he can land a ride. Some folks looking at him to come back. The veteran driver has been in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for a number of years. Maybe he wants to come back up and get back into the Sprint Cup Series. You got Reagan going to be looking for work here in the next 6-7 weeks, unless something is announced between now and then. And as we told you, you have, of course, Chase Elliott going to be stepping up in Jeff Gordon's seat next year. So that'll open up a spot on the Chase Elliott, somebody to fill his spot if they're so inclined to do that. So there'll be some musical chairs, but David Reagan looking for work for sure. He has nothing guaranteed next year, and Clint Boyer does. He'll do that 1-year deal with the Scott team. And then, of course, as we said, he'll be in that Stewart Haas machine, Tony Stewart, in 2017. Thought this was interesting, too. Tony announced in that press conference, he said, I don't want a bunch of goodbyes. I don't want a thank you tour. He said, I'm not interested. And he may change his mind once he gets to these tracks next year. But right now he said, hey, I'm telling you, I'm leaving after a year, and I'm not interested in getting a bunch of different things. So I know yesterday Jeff Gordon, his last trip to Dover, he and all of his teammates and the crew got those little monster for the Monster Mile, those little statues, and every one of those got a big thank you from the folks at Dover, and Jeff and all the crew got some nice things. And that big little nice Monster Mile statue sits, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet high. It's pretty sharp looking. So that was a nice touch. But Tony Stewart said, I'm not interested in that. I just want to go race next year. And I'm kind of putting out notice now so we can get things rolling for 2016, get our team in place, and then we're going to, again, say sayonara. But I promise you at Bristol there'll be a send-off for Tony Stewart like we do every time one of these great drivers says enough's enough, much like Jeff Gordon did this year. So Tony Stewart next year. And, again, Tony going to go into the owner's booth, if you will, and be more hands-on from that side of things as the owner of Stewart Haas Racing. And, of course, 17 will be – next year will be him, and 17, Clint Boyer will be in his seat. So there you go. That's a wrap on NASCAR. They'll come back at Charlotte and crank it back up this week. And, again, the folks that are in the second round, and this is the brand-new third 3-race segment, again, down to 12 drivers now. Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Kyle Busch in no particular order. I know for my money, I'm going to pull for number 18. I think the fact that he's done what he's done this year and got where he's gotten after that horrendous wreck at Daytona back in February, I think he's a guy you got to take a look at, got to be considered and be concerned about. I know Harvick's got the momentum right now with that must win, and he performed it yesterday, did a nice job. You got Keselowski's been kind of sitting there quiet. Joey Logano's kind of quiet right now. Jeff Gordon. I mean, any of these guys can catch fire and win this thing, but for my money, I'm going to go with that 18 ride. He's come back from way back down the road and done well to get to the point where he's at here in the 2015 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season. Volleyball tonight. Let's take a look at volleyball. The tournament starts, the District 1 AA tournament at 5:30. Number 3, Elizabeth and the Lady Cyclones will take on Johnson County at 5:30 today. Number 4 seed Sullivan North takes on the number 5 seed Unicoi County. That is at 7 o'clock tonight. In the District 1 AAA tournament, volleyball at Crockett, number 4 Sullivan Central takes on number 5 Crockett at 4 o'clock. Number 3 Dobbins Minute takes on number 6 Daniel Boone at 5:30. And the number 2 seed plays at 7 o'clock tonight. The number 2 seed, the Lady Hilltoppers, the Science Hill, taking on the number 7 Volunteer Lady Falcons. And that'll be happening again tonight, and that'll be at Crockett High School. And then let's see, how's that work for tomorrow? You have number 1 Tennessee High will take on the Central Crockett winner, and the DB Boone winner will take on the Science Hill Volunteer winner at 6:30 tomorrow night at Crockett High School in Jonesboro. And then the winners will keep on going on Wednesday and Thursday. And, of course, in the AA tournament, you come back tomorrow and you see Sullivan East taking on the Elizabeth and Johnson County winner tomorrow, and the number 1 seed in a powerhouse in volleyball again this year, Sullivan South's Wendy Ratliff and the Lady Rebels of Sullivan South taking on North Unicoi County winner at 7 o'clock. That'll be tomorrow night. So they are a very, very good volleyball team at Sullivan South. By virtue of defeating Tennessee High last week, they played them in the non-conference matchup. The powerhouse in AAA Tennessee High, the powerhouse in AA Sullivan South, and South beat them. And so Wendy Ratliff just kind of reloads. Colonial Heights volleyball team had a big season this year, which, of course, feeds into the Sullivan South volleyball program. So they're loaded for bear. And it starts again tonight. One more time in the AA. Number 3, Elizabethton takes on number 6, Johnson County at 5:30. Number 4, Sullivan North takes on number 5, Unicoi County at 7 o'clock. Both of those being played at Sullivan North. In the AAA tournament, number 4, Sullivan Central, number 5, Crockett at 4 o'clock at Crockett. Number 3 seed, Dobbins Minute, number 6 seed, Daniel Boone at 5:30. And number 2 seed tonight, Science Hill, and the number 7 seed, Volunteer, at 7 o'clock tonight. In the opening round of the district tournament for volleyball in AAA and AA, the AA at Sullivan North, AAA again at Crockett in Jonesboro. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thank you for being with us. Also, the regional golf tournament going on today. The regional AA and single A golf tournament being played at Elizabethton Golf Course for the regional, and so good luck there to the youngsters that are playing in that golf tournament today at Elizabethton. We taped the Sean Whitten Coaches Show today. We did that this morning. We'll have that ready to go Wednesday at noon. Coach Whitten very pleased with his football team with everything but the penalties. Had 15 penalties to win over Pigeon Forge. Got to clean those up. And so the Cyclones take it to them. They beat them 35-18. The Turner brothers combined over 350 yards of rushing. Hunter Tyree, 11 out of 14 for 140 yards for Elizabeth. And they just keep it on. And so they're now 3-0, the new stadium. And they defeat a good Pigeon Forge team 35-18 to take over sole possession, first place in the Mountain 8 Conference. And so Coach Whitten will be with us via the Coaches Show at noon on Wednesday. All you do is go to TomTaylorSports.com, and there we are, and you can check it out for your own. And we appreciate that because you do. And, again, we will continue to pound that drum to let you know that that's the place you can find all three Coaches Shows again this week, Stacey Carter Show and the Graham Clark Coaches Show. They're getting ready for, they'll be entertaining Bradley Central Friday night, again at J. Fred Johnson Stadium. Science Hill will have it for you beginning at 7 o'clock on Friday night, right there against the Governors of William Blount. And then, of course, Elizabeth, as we told you, will go on the road to Claiborne, and they'll battle that team on the road. And so that'll be happening on Friday night as well. So, in fact, let's run down the games for you before we go to the break. We'll come back and do a segment on baseball, Major League Baseball. Bradley Central at Dobbins Middle on Friday night. Cloudland at Sullivan East. Tennessee High after an off week. The Vikings home to Cobb County. Daniel Boone. How about this Daniel Boone team? They're 0-6. And what a bunch of gut checkers. Good grief. They played their hearts out. They had Science Hill and Sevier County back-to-back. Hope they get this win Friday night over Morristown East. They deserve it. They're 0-6. And you look at their football team, and they were tied going into the fourth quarter with Sevier County, 28-28. Of course, some things went wrong, obviously, losing 42-28. But, man, what a game. What an effort by those kids for Jeremy Jenkins. Obviously, they have not given up. And the boys down in Knoxville can take a lesson from the Daniel Boone Trailblazers. Not to give up, not to quit digging and clawing and scratching, which I think some of them have in Knoxville. That's just me. Not all of them, but I think some of them may begin to pack it in a little bit. Boone did not, obviously. 0-6 and doing a great job. We appreciate them very, very much. Again, the folks at Daniel Boone working hard. And they'll be at Morristown East this week. Crockett will be at Sevier County. Elizabeth, as we said, at Claiborne. Gatlinburg, Pittman, and Cosby. Sullivan Central, the Cougars hosting Granger. Greenville plays at Sullivan South. That'll be a dandy. Ethan Ward, quarterback for Sullivan South, broke his leg. He's out for the year. Tough loss for that outstanding little ball player. Little guy, but plays big. And so Sullivan South using Luke Pollock, the freshman quarterback now for the Rebels, as Greenville comes calling on Friday night. Hardin Valley will be at Jefferson County. Johnson County at West Green. Happy Valley hosting North Green. Unicoi County, the Blue Devils home to Pigeon Forge. Scott County hosting Seymour. South Green at Cumberland Gap. Sullivan North, here's the showdown game. The North Golden Raiders will be at Hampton to battle the Bulldogs, both undefeated, both ranked in the state. That'll be Friday night at Hampton. Volunteer at Cherokee. And William Blount, as we told you, will be our game this week against Science Hill in Johnson City at Kermit Tipton Stadium and Steve Spurrier Field. And Southwest Virginia High, the Bearcats will be in Gate City to battle the Blue Devils. Union Place at Lee. Twin Springs at Castlewood. John Battle at Central Wise. J.I. Burton at Honaker. Hancock County at Thomas Walker. And Eastside at Rye Cove. And those are the games coming up this Friday night in Tennessee and Virginia. Again, our ball game one more time. We'll have for you the William Blount Governors coming to town to take on the red-hot Science Hill Hilltoppers. Big win on the road the other night. 20-7 win over a good Hardin Valley team. They are not a bad ball team at all. Bharat is your quarterback, young man's from India, little southpaw. He can sling it. And, again, they had the Isaiah and Isaac Aguero twins who can run the football. They weren't bad. They had a kid named Tim Frizzell, number 7, was a good football player. But when the smoke cleared and the mud stopped flying, the Hilltoppers found a way to win. They scored 20 unanswered after losing, or I should say trailing early 7-0. And won it big. Colby Martin, huge touchdown catch. So was Elijah Mathis on a run. And, again, Science Hill wins it, as we said, 20-7. Mathis, 2 touchdowns. Colby Martin, a big touchdown catch by Bedard over the middle. And Hilltoppers behind the kicking of Adam Moorlegan, all 3-point afters. He has missed his first one on a bad snap. Just didn't go his way, but he's, 20 out of 21 now. Point afters, I'll still take that. The kicking game of Adam Moorlegan for Science Hills. The Hilltoppers back home. We'll have it for you beginning at 7 o'clock on Friday night up on the hill at Kermit Tipton Stadium and Steve Spurrier Field. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll switch gears. We'll talk a little, what we're going to talk about next. We got all kinds of things to continue to talk about. Baseball, playoffs start tomorrow. Let's wrap up the regular season in baseball and tell you who did what, who's playing where. Some surprises, and maybe not so surprises. And we'll do that coming up again right after you hear this again on a Monday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
American Import and Auto Repair takes a lot of pride in their work and customer service. Owner Kim Smith tells us why someone should consider American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City.
Well, of course, the first thing is you want to make sure that people are getting value for their dollar. Our emphasis is on quality, not quantity. We want to make sure that not only is the job being done, but it's done right with quality parts, with highly trained technicians. All of our technicians are ASE certified. We have several master techs, which is the highest you can get in the ASE. And ASE is a program that certifies people to the top level of their industry in car repair. We want people to feel comfortable. We never twist people's arms. Like I said, it's about quality. We want people to be happy. We want them to come back. We want a good name. You know, we're customers of other businesses. We want to be treated right, so we'd like to treat our customers right.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City. Call today at 913-3111. Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the three-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have, but find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with. But I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of healthcare, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this, Monday, October the 5th. We appreciate you very, very much being with us. Told you a couple of breaking stories. Joe Philbin fired this afternoon as the coach of the Miami Dolphins. They have an off week. Dan Campbell, the tight ends coach, or the interim head coach now for Miami. Also, Matt Williams-Cant is the manager of the Washington Nationals. He's gone. Also, C.C. Sabathia will not be into the rotation in postseason play. He has checked himself into alcohol rehab and will not pitch in postseason. So the Yankees losing. I hope he gets his act together, of course, and gets the help he needs. And that will be CC Sabathia, again, not pitching in postseason for the Yankees. He will, in turn, go check himself into alcohol rehab for the New York Yankees. Also, breaking story, Florida youth football coach faces battery charges after allegedly hitting an official during an argument in a game over the weekend. Leo Davis, 36, told authorities he pushed a referee while trying to break up a fight that involved parents and coaches following a controversial call in the game. Referee said that Davis hit him in the face, causing minor injuries. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office said that there are several witnesses and video evidence to support the officials' claims. Davis left the field at Liberty High School and reportedly tried to get away at a rate of high speed, was stopped by deputies and booked into Osceola County Jail before getting released on a $1,000 bail. Wouldn't that be great to call someone and say, I can't come to work today, or I can't come home right now, I'm in jail, I'm taken to jail because I got in a fight at a youth football game. Ain't that great? Doesn't that set a good standard for the kids? Apparently try to break up a fight between parents and coaches following a controversial call in the game. Referees becoming more of a target. I hope someone does whatever to make sure they are taken care of in the midst of a hot and heated ball game. But I know one of the games we were at this year, Bradley Central, as soon as the game was over, they literally ran. They sprinted to their cars and got out of there because there were fans. Fans were not happy with their calling, and so it's a thankless job. I've done it as a basketball official, and when you leave the gym, half the gym's going to be mad at you because they blame everything on the officials. Some folks just can't pony up and understand that, we got beat tonight. It's not us, or it's not the officials. It was us. We just didn't get it done. But the scapegoat always seems to be the officials. And so particularly in baseball, the umpires catch it. Football, the officials catch it. And some of it's justified. Now, I'm not going to sit here and defend them and say they never make a mistake, because they do. They do make mistakes, and lots of them. And coaches make mistakes, and lots of them. So nobody is above making a mistake and being scrutinized for what their job performance is. But officials, they're just easy to pin things on. Well, the refs killed us. We got beat. I can go back and watch, and I've said this before. I can go back and particularly in basketball, I guess what I'm thinking about. And, when you shoot whatever you shoot, a very poor percentage from the free throw line or three-point or miss layups inside or whatever, you can normally go back and look at a basketball game, analyze it, and figure out, even though some fans say the referees made bad calls and killed us, you can typically see a play here, a bad play there, a missed opportunity here, missed free throws there. You generally see something that you can pin it onto the team that lost, and you cannot pin it necessarily on the officials. So they usually get a bad rap. And so this guy, again, pushed the referee while trying to break up a fight that involved parents and coaches following a controversial call in the game. This is a youth baseball game, or football game, rather. So, that's why I more and more stay away from organized sports for the little people, because kids just get berated and by coaches and not all of them. Not everybody does this, so I'm not going to lump them all in. But a lot of kids get put down. It's like all or nothing on these ball games. And hello, Rob Cole. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great.
Good. Can you hear me loud and clear? Everything good?
Absolutely.
All right.
Nice reception there.
There you go. Anyway, I'm talking about this story down in Florida where a youth league football coach battery charged over the weekend after he hit an official during an argument in a game in front of all these kids, and the parents got in a fight and the coaches, and this guy jumps his car and drives off the parking lot at a high rate of speed, gets arrested in Osceola County. It just blows my mind, but you see more and more of that happening, and referees getting the brunt of the calls. Rob, you've played sports. How many times can you honestly say at the end of the day that an official, if you're playing basketball, you miss free throws, you turn the ball over, you play poor defense, but at the end of the day, how many games can you attribute to the fact that the referees cost you the game with a bad call?
Zero.
There you go. Thank you.
Absolutely zero. If you're playing the game the right way, if you're doing your job the way you're trained to do, the way hopefully you're coached to do, the ref should have no bearing on the game.
There you go. That's what I say, but I'm in the minority, and you are too. They say, well, the referees cost us a game, that bad calls. And, but I can also say, and Butch Jones, living proof, there's coaches make bad coaching decisions too. So it's not always the officials, and it's not all Butch Jones. There's other coaches making bad. The young man out in Texas, he's got problems because he's not coaching very good right now either, Charlie Strong. But anyway, that's the story in Osceola County. Rob Cole's with us from Bays Mountain Park. Okay, I've asked everybody that's called in this morning and this afternoon. We got a few minutes left here in the show. I need your nickel assessment. What is wrong in Knoxville? What's wrong with this Tennessee football team before we get into Bays Mountain Park and the Cardinals?
Well, I'm going to stick to my guns. I've said here now for, a couple, 3 or 4 weeks or really over a month since before football season. I've always thought this team was no better than 7-5, and I think what we're seeing is a little bit like we talked last week. Yes, it's, there's obviously some coaching improvement that needs to take place, game management, those kinds of things. But, we've got Tennessee's got a mighty young team, and people want to forget that real quick just because our starters may look like Tarzan, just the same as the guys across the ball from us do. That's great, but once you get into the second team and the rotation and the kind of depth you have to consistently play a game and keep guys from getting worn out and be able to absorb injuries and still plug a man in and go, Tennessee ain't there yet. And, they're another recruiting cycle and another year in the weight room away, and I've always felt that. Am I disappointed? Absolutely. We should be 5-0 right now. I guess the curse of that is we should be 5-0. The kind of amazing thing to me is we could be 5-0, and that's not trying to be a sunshine bumper, but it's disappointing on a number of different levels. Obviously, you can look at a lot of different things: our passing game or lack thereof, lack of development in the receivers. Again, we talked about game management. A lot of reasons to be upset, but I thought maybe we might beat Florida, but right about now we're where I thought we would be. No panic here for me. It's disappointing. People are loud. People are hungry and tired of losing. They're ready for a winner in Knoxville, and I get that. But it just ain't going to happen this year.
We're talking to Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park. Getting some more sports stories again. Washington Nationals firing their manager, Matt Williams, today. He's out. Joe Philbin fired a few minutes ago as the manager or the coach of the Miami Dolphins. He's gone. It's an open week for the Dolphins. They're 1-3, and Dan Campbell's the interim coach. And now, just get this breaking story: CC Sabathia entering alcohol rehab. He's going to be out for the playoffs for the Yankees. So hope that young man gets his life turned around quickly, because that's a personal thing, and we want him to. I want him to get it together and take care of that demon known as alcoholism, because it affects a lot of people. And so those are some of the breaking stories, again, happening in the sports world. Also, Marshawn Lynch will not play tonight for the Seahawks in their Monday Night Football game against the Lions. May not have to, but again, he's out and will not play with an injury tonight with the Seattle Seahawks. We're talking to buddy Rob Cole, again, ready to go here. Well, let's talk about the planetarium. What's going on up on the mountain at Bays Mountain Park, my friend?
Yeah, no doubt, fall colors, and we can talk about that every week for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks. We're starting to see some signs of it and loving it. We're anxious for it. And you've talked about this a million different times, it seems like. It's a football weather, and with it comes a change of the colors, and I don't know of a better place to do that than Bays Mountain Park. I know we've got mountains to the left of us here over going into North Carolina that are gorgeous and beautiful to see, but I got to tell you, for my money, right here's where I'm going, right here in my own backyard. And so looking forward to that. But, we've got some neat things going on in the planetarium, and that's a sign of the times, too. Every October, November, we have what's known as Star Watch. And that's basically where we take the higher-powered telescopes at our observatory, which is located just above the dam, by the way. They're outside, kind of a roundish-looking dome-shaped building, and we'll crank that back as it gets dark each Saturday night through the month of October, November. And along with members of the Bays Mountain astronomy club who bring their own telescopes. We'll take a look at that night sky and gaze at stars, constellations. We'll help folks find planets in the night sky, and of course take a close-up view of the moon like you've never seen it before. It's a free event. Doesn't cost anything to attend, and the best part is maybe rain or shine, we're going to do something on those Saturday nights. So if we don't have visibility outside, we'll just go inside of the planetarium and enjoy stargazing from that point of view. But we also have a new planetarium show that focuses on, it's titled Dark, by the way, focuses on the citizen's search for dark matter. And that is a really neat, entertaining show. Essentially, dark matter being something of a glue, if you will, that kind of holds our universe together just a little bit. Some of the astronomers and physicists obviously can describe that a little bit better than I, but it's a fascinating show. It's very educational. Definitely encourage folks to come out and check it out. Just opened this past weekend, so plenty going on up at the park, whether you're into the outdoors or indoors and checking out the night sky.
$4 a carload again. So the leaves starting to change a little bit down here, a little lower elevation, but up on the mountain, are things beginning to turn a little bit for the leaf watchers?
We're starting to see signs of it. Yes, sourwoods, as we talked about already, have already changed and are changing. So we are seeing signs of it every day, and we're pretty glad that we didn't get some of those heavy winds that were originally forecasted to hit the area this past weekend. We were always concerned that maybe that might knock a lot of these leaves out of the trees before they get a chance to change colors, but weathered it pretty doggone good, and we're on track with we hope will be a beautiful, beautiful fall.
There you go. And so we're talking to Rob Cole, the Planetarium Show, and again, it's up and running. It's a new show, and it's a good show, and it's always a fun way to get up there. $4 a carload. The barge rides continue, of course, and also of course, the wolf habitat. The wolves, the pups are no longer pups. They have pretty much kind of meshed in with is it the herd in the clan? What is the official? What do you call them? Is it the herd?
It is. They have pretty much meshed in with the rest of the pack. Definitely no longer pups, that's for sure. You're right about that. And doing very well, I might add. One big happy family.
There you go. And so we're 80 days away from Christmas. Let's drop one of those thought processes and kind of gift-giving ideas. You say, Tom, we're 80 days out. We are. It'll be here before we know it. So tell me there at Bays Mountain Park, what are some of the gift-giving ideas one could get there out of the gift shop?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of things there. We have soaps and lotions and things for the ladies in your life. For moms, obviously, that's a big thing. We've got toys, little plush animals for the kids. Make great stocking stuffers or primary gifts. But probably the best thing we've got is, family memberships. For as little as $35, you can get a year-round park membership that will get you free entry into the park every time you visit for one vehicle and get you up to 6 passes per visit per program. So that means if you come to the park and you want to see a planetarium show, you can get up to 6 passes. And likewise with barge rides and nature program tickets. So it's a tremendous bargain. $35, you can't beat it. If you got a family of 6, I guarantee you'll make that money back up real quick, and maybe even the first visit.
Can't beat it. Again, it's a great deal, and it won't take you long to get your money back out of that. So, also heading into the fall season, from time to time, you always kind of put out a plea for volunteers, and this time of year is no exception. You need volunteers going into the fall. We're in the fall, going into the winter. So, tell me about volunteer opportunities up on the mountain.
Yeah, we always rely on volunteers. Definitely, really a huge asset for us at the park. We could not do what we do without volunteers. A number of different areas those are needed, ranging from the herpetarium, where our reptiles and amphibians are located, to Farmstead Museum, which covers the history of the park. We also need volunteer naturalists, and those are folks with a a knowledgeable background who can help us with school visits, school programs. We have folks that come out and do just trail maintenance, help us keep the trails clean, pick up trash, those kinds of things. A lot of different opportunities for volunteers to come up and make a difference.
And we'll switch gears and talk about your Cardinals. Of course, the baseball playoffs getting ready to crank up now. This is the fun part of the year, although the regular season's fun too. And so your Cardinals had a heck of a run, and so they're ready to go. They'll play the winner of the Cubs and the Pirates. And so you got Molina back. What do you think is going to happen? You going to get him back at all, or is he done for?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's gone for at least the division series. Sounds like the thumb is healing a little bit slower than they hoped. And, of course, that's one of those things you really don't want to make worse. You don't want to affect his future opportunities there. So I would imagine we're at least without him for the division series. Cruz has been playing pretty well, but obviously he's no Molina when it comes to throwing out base runners and calling a game.
Absolutely. So, Cubs, Pirates, who do you want to play? Does it make a difference to you?
Well, not really. Not really. Those two teams got hot as the summer got longer, and they're both in pretty good grooves right now. I'm anxious to watch that game. Shame that's only going to go one game, but that's going to make that such an exciting game. I can't wait to see that. And I don't mind saying, darn glad to be in the playoffs, but don't really want any part of either one of those two teams. Well managed, good talent, great pitching this year from both staffs. Arietta has been lights out, and of course, what can you say about Garrett Cole and that Pirates crew? Man, yeah, if it's going to shape up to be a great postseason, I look at the American League too, and man, we had races that went right down to the wire yesterday, and that's beautiful stuff, man. I love this time of year.
Absolutely. Last question. I'm a Reds fan. You know that, although it's waning quickly because they've decided to bring back Brian Price next year. Explain to me how a team that's 32 games out, you're going to bring him back as a manager. Why would that be?
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. That one doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. They brought up some good young talent that played probably obviously ahead of their schedule this year. I didn't see a whole lot of development over the course of the year, did you?
No. And it's 2 years in a row they've woefully underperformed, in my opinion. And this is a guy who went on that tirade, 77 F-bomb tirade in 5 minutes, and they didn't do anything then. They let this guy put him 32 games out this year, and they're going to bring him back. I mean, the Washington Nationals have fired their guy. Let's see, the Padres fired their guy yesterday, and they had better records than the Reds, and so these guys are 32 games out and got worse as the year went on. I mean, there's twice they had 9-game losing streaks. They don't can this guy, so I'm thinking, all right, either they've just thrown in the towel at this franchise or this guy's got something on somebody, then they're not going to let him go because it just defies logic to have somebody 32 games out, terrible baseball team, they're going to bring him back for next year. I just don't get it. So,
yeah, I don't get that either. And if anybody, wants to debate about whether or not a manager can make that kind of difference, I'll give you Joe Madden.
Yeah.
What difference 1 year make with one manager? That's a good manager right there.
Reds are 64-98, my friend. I was wrong. They're 36 games out at the end of the season, and they weren't that bad last year. They were bad enough, and so 36-game difference. 36 games back, they finished 34 games under 500. They're going to bring this guy back. So, wow is right. I don't get that. And so they're talking about trying to fire Butch Jones because he's 2-3, and this guy's 34 games out. They're going to bring him back next year. So, don't get it, but there you go. Nobody asked me. I'm sitting here doing my show, but I sure, and I know the fan base in Cincinnati. It'll be interesting to see what kind of season tickets they have starting next year because, I can't imagine a lot of Cincinnati fans wanting to go back and plunk down money to watch. Because if you don't make any changes, Rob, how are you going to get any better? You want to. So, anyway, go Cardinals. How about that? Can I say that now on the show?
I love to hear it. Oh, yeah, come on over to the other Red side.
Come on over.
See how easy that is?
That's it.
Good that
Yeah, it did feel good. So it did sound good and feel good. So I'm right there beside you in the front row cheering on the Cardinals. So that'll be good. So
We'll take it.
there you go.
Welcome to the big red wave, brother T.
The big red wave. There you go. All right, my friend, I appreciate you. Keep up the good work up on the mountain. $4 a carload. You can't beat it. And so much up there to go and see. And the leaves are turning. It's a beautiful time of the year, just like today. It'll be a great day. I think it looks right around 70, 71 degrees right now. Beautiful day to be up on the mountain. So, hey, I appreciate you very much. Keep up the good work. I'll talk to you next Monday, all right?
Hey, look forward to it, Big T. You take care now.
You got it. There's our buddy Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park up on the mountain. $4 a carload. You cannot beat it. I can tell you that. It's a great place to go. And they do a wonderful job, and Rob is right there as he is one of the main components in that outfit up there, as we call it, and they do a wonderful job, and do want to say thanks again to our buddy Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park. We'll come right back as promised, and we'll talk baseball. About to wrap this show up. 3 hours in the books, and we'll come back and take a look at Major League Baseball. The playoffs start tomorrow. Who's playing who and who's playing where? We'll tell you all about that next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. A few more minutes left here again on this Monday. We certainly thank you for being with us. All the Major League Baseball playoff matchups set yesterday on the final day of the regular season. The Texas Rangers helped lock in the pairings by routing the Angels in the West. Albert Pujols' 40-home run season, not enough, as Angels eliminated. Real intrigue begins tomorrow night at Yankee Stadium when the Houston Astros take on the New York Yankees. Again, CC Sabathia was announced that he is out. He has turned himself into, or entered himself into, I should say, alcohol rehab, so he will not be back for the postseason. Trying to get himself fixed and get himself turned around, which I admire for him to come out and say that. Wednesday night, 22-game winner Jake I can't ever say it right. Jake Arrieta, I should say, and the Chicago Cubs, Jake Arrieta, and the Chicago Cubs, still trying for their first World Series championship since 1908, will take on Pittsburgh in the NL wild card matchup. That'll be on Wednesday night. Winner of that one, of course, will move on and get ready for postseason play as the Astros and the Yankees. That winner tomorrow night will play at Kansas City in the best of five starting on Thursday. The same day Texas will visit American League East champion Toronto. The NL Division Series begins Friday. The Mets at the Dodgers, and the Cub Pirate winner plays at St. Louis. take on the Cardinals in a division that had not one, not two, but three. Heck of a division, I can tell you that. They had three outstanding ball clubs in that Central Division, easily the best division in baseball. And, again, as we told you earlier, it was a interesting season for the Cincinnati Reds, who did not do well. And, you know, they're going to bring their manager back. I just don't get it. And I know that's, just don't understand it. Reds being in that Central Division and first ever division with top three Major League Baseball records. How about that? If Major League Baseball didn't divide up into two leagues and three divisions, in each of those two leagues, the top three seeds in the playoffs this season would be the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Cubs in that order. First time in baseball history, divisional play began in 1969. There have been 6 divisions since 1994. First time in baseball history, the best 3 records in all of baseball came from the same division. Cardinals 162, Pittsburgh 98-64, and the Cubbies are 97-65. So the Cubs tomorrow night have a chance to move into the second round, take on the Cardinals. And of course, the Pirates will obviously try and have something to say about that, or will have something to say about that. Second time in Major League Baseball history that 3 teams from the same division won at least 95 games. The 1977 American League East, 100-win Yankees, 97-win Orioles, and 97-win Red Sox. Now to the people who claim this is not a big deal because there was 2 really bad teams in the NL Central, the Reds being one of those. The fourth and fifth place teams, rather, in the NL East were respectively worse than in the NL Central. Of course, that would be who was in the East? Oh, the Braves and the Phillies. Yeah, they're terrible. So, anyway, that's what's going on. And so you have the best division in baseball, the National League Central. And that, of course, would be the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Cubbies. On a sad note of Major League Baseball, one of the all-time cool guys, Rusty Staub. Remember Rusty Staub? Rusty Staub apparently suffered a heart attack. And so Rusty Staub's being attended to, and that's happening again for Major League Baseball. One of the good guys played in Montreal and played in New York for a while in the Mets organization. So Rusty Staub, again, suffering a heart attack earlier today. His prognosis, I mean, he's still alive, but his prognosis is yet to be determined as they continue to evaluate him. And so Rusty Staub suffering a heart attack earlier today. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we thank you for being with us. Here's our lineup for the rest of the week. We'll be with you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Next week, Monday will be Columbus Day. The next Tuesday, we'll take our show on the road. We'll be at Cherokee Barbershop next Tuesday, hanging out with our man. That would be our buddy, of course, the one, the only, the Gator man at Cherokee Barbershop. Also later in the month, we're going to be at Champion Chevrolet, Cadillac on the Bristol Highway Motor Mile. Tim Copenhaver and the folks, Andy Dietrich, will be there broadcasting live. Also coming up later in the month, we've got trips planned. We can work out the dates with our buddy Mike's Medicine Mart. Actually, we're going to wait till the new store opens, so it won't be now. It'll be later on in the year when we go to Mike's Medicine Mart. We're going to be also going to some other locations that we know of. Book Lovers Warehouse, looks like we're going to be going there one day. And so we're going to be out on the trail. We enjoyed it. We had a big time a couple of weeks ago. It'll be 2 weeks Friday, and we were, again, at Town Acres Elementary School. And they had a great carnival. They raised over $30,000 in one day. That's net for the carnival, again, at Town Acres Elementary School, which is pretty impressive. And so we're looking forward to, again, taking this show out on the road, not because of that, just because we have fun being out on the road. So we will do that for sure coming up in the not-too-distant future. And again, next Tuesday we'll be on the road, as we said. We'll be taking it to Cherokee Barbershop on South Roan Street in Johnson City. We have already in the can the Sean Whitten Coaches Show, thanks to Robert Kev. We'll bring that to you Wednesday at noon. Also, we have the Stacy Carter Coaches Show. We'll have that ready to go for you. That'll be Wednesday at noon as well. And also the Graham Clark Coaches Show. We'll have that one ready to go as well. And so all those will be ready at noon on Wednesday. And you can go in and check out the upcoming games. Those would be, of course, Science Hill has William Blunt. Play that for us, please, sir, or show that. Thank you. Coming up on Friday night. Dobbins Minute hosts Bradley Central, and Elizabethton goes to Claiborne. So those are the 3 games involving the coaches shows we do. And we will I have those for you again coming up beginning at Wednesday at noon right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we'll tell you that the sports news this afternoon, Dolphins fired Joe Philbin in wake of mounting disappointments. He's 1-3, losing 3 in a row, losing over the weekend to the Jets in London. He is out. Matt Williams fired earlier today as the manager of the Washington Nationals when they underachieved. And see, those guys underachieved. They're keeping him around. You know, I'm going to get on my soapbox about the Reds one more time. Let me see. How did the Nationals finish up? They didn't get where they wanted to get to win the division. Washington was 83-79 to can him. San Diego was 74-88 to can him. The Reds are 64-98 to bringing him back. So I guess they need to get over it. They're not going to change because I'm down here belly aching about it in East Tennessee. But you can bet your bottom dollar I'm done with them. So I'm not interested in them at all. One more time, let's tell you volleyball. And we got a couple of volleyball tournaments going on tonight. Please get out and support these young ladies. It's elimination night for some of these teams. The AA tournament at Sullivan North at 5:30, number 3 Elizabethton and number 6 Johnson County. At 7 o'clock tonight at North, the home team, Sullivan North, the number 4 seed, takes on the number 5 seed, Unicoi County at 7 o'clock. And the District 1 AAA tournament, you have number 4 Sullivan Central taking on number 5 Crockett at 4 o'clock this afternoon. At 5:30, number 3 Dobbins Minute and number 6 Daniel Boone at 5:30. And at 7 o'clock tonight, number 2 Science Hill takes on number 7 Volunteer, the Lady Hilltoppers of Coach Maiden. And so good luck to them tonight taking on Volunteer. Winners move on. Losers are eliminated from postseason play as of tonight. So, and we told you, again, Matt Williams fired as the Nationals manager. That's kind of a big story here this morning and this afternoon here on the show. And Matt Williams, again, let go as the manager of the Washington Nationals. And looking strictly at the overall numbers, his numbers were impressive. But, again, 83-79, and he was let go. And so Williams came under fire during last year's playoff for his handling of the Nationals pitching staff, losing to the eventual champion, the San Francisco Giants. So after winning 96 games last season, adding Max Scherzer over the winter, Nationals were the prohibitive favorite to win everything, but again, struggled to say the least. And so he's gone. He went 179 and 145 in 2 seasons in Washington, and his 55% winning percentage ranks 3rd among active managers behind Mike Matheny and Joe Girardi. So guys had a pretty good run. Matt Williams also, that puts him 34th all time, puts him ahead of guys like Sparky Anderson, Joe Torre, Tony LaRussa, and Whitey Herzog as far as winning percentage. But again, they were there longer. But again, disappointing run for Matt Williams, and let go as the manager earlier today for the Washington Nationals. We are out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. We covered Tennessee football, Virginia Tech football, NASCAR. We covered also Major League Baseball, high school sports. And, of course, we talked to some folks today. We talked to Cody Helton. We visited with Don Shepard. We also talked to Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park. The folks, Dave Ongie on vacation this week. He'll be back with us next week. And so Johnson City and Elizabethton City schools, I know of for sure on spring, or in this case fall break. So some of these folks got some time and got out of town. I totally understand that. Wish we could, but we can't. We've got a show to do, although we may disappear on Wednesday. We may take a day off and go hang out with the little people because they're off this week on fall break. And we may do that. We'll see. So, but right now we're back in the saddle for tomorrow for sure, and we're looking forward to being there and hanging out with you tomorrow here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Let's roll with it and be right back in here tomorrow from 11 to 2. High school polls are about tomorrow. We'll talk about that in the Monday Night Football game. Marshawn Lynch not in uniform tonight for the Seahawks, taking on Detroit on Monday Night Football. See if we have any more casualties in Major League Baseball besides the San Diego Padre manager and also the Washington Nationals manager. And maybe even an NFL coach may be in the hot seat, as was Joe Philbin, who got fired earlier today from the Miami Dolphins. So for all our guests and all our sponsors, this is Tom Taylor for wrapping up day number 152. 80 days to Christmas, and we always tell you, win or lose, Be a good sport. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock right here. Of course, it goes up on podcast later today for you to watch and enjoy and view and listen. We appreciate that on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, the Stitcher phone app, and YouTube. Until tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we tell you as always, win or lose, be a good sport. Thanks for giving us a listen and a watch on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So long, everybody.